Mm, 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 mm. Ooh, 12:39 a.m. Georgia midnight. Hi, Sodium Tears. Hello. Doing good. About to put the kid to sleep. Will probably follow suit. Sounds good, Mike. Honestly, I get it. Even if you were just gonna put him down to sleep, you accidentally fall asleep too. Cottage cheese and pretzels for dinner. Um, more like snack. It's not like dinner time for me yet. I stay up until like 3, 4 in the morning. So I'll probably eat dinner in like a couple hours, maybe like 2 hours. I don't know. I wanted to get stream started because I'm pretty fucking behind. I ain't gonna lie. Pretty fucking behind. Yeah, it's sad. I know. But you know what? Like you said, there's no better time than the present time, and the present time means that I'm fucking here, and I got some cottage cheese and pretzels, and a donut face. What is this? Who is this? Go away. Okay. I was also skeptical about my shirt. I kind of felt like maybe I should put on something else. Honest, I might. I might. I feel like this is a little too much titty for me. And then on top of that, it's very pale. I'm so used to seeing clothes on my body that I'm not used to seeing how white I am. So, I don't know. We're gonna see how this works and then we'll go from there. But how is everyone doing? How was your guys' Thursday today? What did you guys do? I'm gonna take. Mm-hmm. 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 Today is a really good day for me. Um, I didn't realize how much I was like holding up, like holding inside of me until like I screamed it out of my body today. So, so yeah, it's kind of nice. Today sucked for me, but moving on. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, mine. I try to like see the positive of things. So like mine wasn't like awful. Okay, it was more like eye opening. So like I'm pretty much like a stick it and go kind of person. I don't like to sit on things for very long, and I just kind of like keep things moving for the most part. And if I think about it too hard, then it typically ends up weighing me down for like the entirety of the day. So I don't like to do that. I like to like just push forward, you know? But today I was like thinking about things. I think I had way too much downtime. So I don't know. Maybe stream is really an actual distraction. I'm not entirely sure. But hi, White. How are you? Welcome in, Nico and Lexi. Hi. But yeah, I think maybe stream might be an actual distraction for me because typically I'm pretty like open to discussing these things, but maybe it gets so like clouded by everything else that I don't have a moment to actually think for myself. So not being on stream today allowed me to think about everything. Like, okay, what do I want from streaming? Like, what are my goals? Where am I gonna go? Like, what do I need to do? Um, what ideas do I have for stream to like keep stream like relevant and like moving forward and not stagnant? And then like my other presence like everywhere else, my online presence, my spicy presence, like you know what's going on with all of that stuff. And then I have this really bad habit of watching other people and then comparing myself and then being like, oh god, i'm just I'm awful. Like, what am I doing right now? I'm I'm a fucking awful creator and I haven't done anything I was supposed to do. And then I just start like badging, like stabbing myself with a knife, essentially. Like, you're bad. You're awful. And I have to get out of that mentality. It's awful. It really is crazy. So I think it got to a point today where I was just like so over it. I just like I couldn't hold on to it anymore and I just started crying and screaming. It was like wild. But anyways, thank you, Nomad, for the compliment. I appreciate you. Hi, Evo. Welcome in. Hello, hello. Yeah, that all around me. They ignored me in TikTok, IG Live. That's how they neglect everyone. Wait, what do you mean, neglect? You're being neglected? How so? Mm-mm. I want to pick this up, but then I'll have to. Your OCD manifests that way. Hmm. I feel like bottling my emotions just leads to random outbursts when they're not necessarily warranted. Hmm. I hate comparing myself because it really is the thief of joy. Like they always say, comparison is the thief of joy. It is 1,000%, and it prevents you from being able to see all of the good that you have done. My my thing now is not so much. Well, no, I mean it is kind of like I had the opportunity of being somewhere and then not being there or not being at that point. Not the fucking finger. That's crazy. Oversharing or trauma dumping can happen if you keep it in too long. Yes, and that's where I was like, yeah, I needed to, and I don't. I think the weirdest part about it is it wasn't all because of somebody else. It was because I had so many ideas pent up in my brain that I just wanted to do. I get super anxious and I get almost so irritated that I shake and then I get overwhelmed and then I want to scream and cry because I can't do anything right now. So that was like the main thing for me today. It was like, okay, I want to do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. Why can't I do this? How come I haven't done this? Like, and then I just like start listing things, like boom, 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 and then all of a sudden it's just like fall apart. So it's fucking ridiculous, but it happens, and I don't know. Today was just one of those days, and then afterwards, you know, and after the words, you just kind of realize, okay, I'm I'm where I need to be. I'm I'm happy. I'm not dying, and all I can do is take the steps to make it all happen. And then I kind of just sit here and I start working on the things that I need to work on. Worry about my now and not my future. So it's nice. Hmm. I don't think I've ever been punished to be myself. I don't really care what other people think about me. I more so care about whether or not I am doing it correctly. I guess. I don't know. Maybe it was the same thing. Um, let's see. I was going to ask about your mental health, but now I'm offended. Is that fucking cottage cheese? It is. It's my like snack dinner thing. My snack before dinner. Hi, Vex. How are you? I'm sorry to hear that, Nomad. Mhm. 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 Yeah, it's never easy to be picked on. I think. I think for me. Hi, Pumpkin. I was listening to you. the entire time I was getting ready, and I was sad because you ended stream and you stopped the music that I was singing to when I was doing my makeup. I was like, I can't come over here and tell her just to not end stream because she's already ending stream. And I was upset about it, but it's fine. Hello. What's in it? These are sourdough pretzels with salt and pepper and cottage cheese. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I wasn't picked on by kids when I was a kid. I was picked on by my family as a kid, but mainly for my weight. And I don't know if that like kind of had a playing part in it. And I will say, like, in the beginning of getting into all this content creating, like, the comments about my weight always just bothered me. Even if I try to, like, now it's like, we're still doing this. We're still doing this 6 years later? You still going? Okay. Noted. Why are you jumping rope in your ass, bro? No, you're a good pumpkin. I hope you got your foods though. Streamer pumpkin, nice to see you. W stream. Yeah. Oh no, I mean I know my family has a lot to do with a lot of things. They definitely have a lot to do with my insecurities, but my weight isn't the reason why I had my meltdown today, or my expression today. I expressed myself quite emotionally today. And I like it was one of those where like I couldn't stop it. Like I had to move. I had to move, and I was moving, and I was just like pacing my room, and I was like, I need to do this and I need to do that, and like, do you need to do this? And like I want to get shit done right now because I'm so overwhelmed of shit not fucking being done. I'm just I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of sitting here twiddling my thumbs for fucking 8 to 12 hours a day. So I'm just like, yeah, I mean, stream's just gonna have to sit without me for today. Sorry. Oh yeah, he was the one that got the butt end of it. I ended up I ended up expressing so much I called him a wall. He's like, please don't ever call me a wall. I'm like, it wasn't like I wasn't referencing you as a wall. I was referencing you and your build as like a wall, you know? Not like a wall I can't talk to, but you're like a sturdy person in my life. But you I'm sorry. And I just came off wrong because in that moment I was like crying and I was screaming. So, anyway. Yeah. I appreciate you, Pumpkin. Hello, I love your face and I miss you. Oh, hello. Got cottage cheese and pretzels here. Mm. Yeah. um, bro, I'm like actually so excited. So I was editing. After all of that crap that happened, I ended up sitting down. I'm like, I need to edit this video today, so I can do what I want to tomorrow because tomorrow is Friday, and usually on Fridays we spend the entire day together. I do like a get ready with me, and then I also want to do oh, so sorry, I have all of my channels muted. But yeah, so
It's not like I'm saying anything right now
amazing.
anyways.
That's a fucking W name. Fuck you. Fuck you. I love it. Thank you. Well, welcome into the double team. My name is Jasmine. I hope you enjoy the stream. Um, amazing. So I ended up editing, and while I was editing, I was like, damn, I really want to go back to shooting. And I'm really hoping that when I move, like me moving more and like stretching and everything, it's gonna allow me to build up that confidence again that I've like kind of sort of like lacked, I guess, from streaming comfortably for like the last 2 months. And I'm hoping to get back into like shooting scenes again by like August or September. Weapons? Wait, what about weapons? Did I say weapons? I didn't say weapon. Oh, he's bro. This TTS needs to just go somewhere. Weapons of ass destruction is insane.
That's wild. That's fucking crazy.
There's no way that's what that said. I'm TTS is off for the night. So sorry, guys. That's crazy. What was that? Did I eat all of the pretzels and not enough cottage cheese? I'm having an issue here. What? I mean, talking to my husband is kind of like talking to a therapist. He does have his degree in psychology, so it's like the same thing. Very yummy. Hello, super cats. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate all the blessings. I'm eating my snack, my dinner. I don't know. Well, it depends. It depends if I want to go downstairs and make my dinner or not. So we're here. We're just chatting and shoving food in our face holes. So welcome in. I hope you had an amazing day as well, super cats. Unfortunately, I can't eat myself, or I would.
Nom nom nom.
No. No. This is why hair is just not important. I'm just saying.
No, 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 no. You stop that
It's
right
just
now.
not important. It's
No,
not
no.
important.
It's very important.
No, 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 no. You just chop
Give
it all
down.
off.
Welcome back, White. No, 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 no. Wait a minute. Back it up. No, no.
Wait, what? Yes.
No,
yes, cut it back.
Off.
Yes.
No, no.
If it's not important, cut it off. That's what I'm saying. It's not.
Blue. Stay out of it. No.
I might. Like what?
I know you too. I'm a what?
I don't like being called Jizzy, but it's fine.
I'm watching spooky videos until. Did you want to watch the Diddy trial thing today or today?
Wait. What do you mean? Something about adulting that doesn't get talked about enough. The fact that people are busy and stuff, or like what? Super cats. Happy dance, happy dance.
Yes,
What does it mean? Crazy. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. How that hurt. I'm living on my desk. Ow.
That was Pumpy.
That's me.
That
That was
that
me.
Pumpy. I kind of want to make coffee now. Fuck.
No.
I've been really
How
good.
long you want to string?
I was gonna be on for a good bit tonight. Well, I don't have to be. The game is out. Say less. I mean, wait. So we need to figure out because I actually so we have this Diddy trial that we're trying to keep up with, right? But then we also have this random person. I don't know who this random is popping up on my feed about our lovely Stephanie. And I don't know how I feel about that. Alright? So apparently YouTuber gets grilled for reporting the Diddy case because she's not a journalist. And who is this lovely face? That's Stephanie! Who is this person? I don't know who she is! But she's talking about Stephanie! And I kind of want to watch this. It's 24 minutes though, so I don't know if I want to watch the whole thing. Not a super long watch, but still a watch.
Oh my god, she's not the textbook definition of journalist, but she does like as we've been keeping up with like the videos of
yes,
it, which is her version of journalism.
But my thing is, if she's not considered like a journalist or important enough to be in that room, then why the fuck is she in it?
They let like a small handful of outside people allowed in there too. I don't know if you remember her talking about that, but they have one or two back rows of the courtroom.
Cancel her. This is deplorable exploitation. It's crazy. How do you slander someone that looks like you? I'm confused. I don't know if she's slandering her or if she's just talking about it. So I'm down to watch this if you guys are up for it. It's just hard to reconnect with your peers in your 30s. I don't think so. I think it's all about the effort that we make to actually connect with them. So let's just finish out like the whole thing that I had started when I first got here. Yeah, so when we're adults, it becomes really hard to keep in touch with everybody because everyone is busy. But I think it is a mutual understanding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's a mutual understanding that we're all busy. So responding immediately isn't going to be an actual thing until, unless it's like verbalized. So I will like try to send out a message, once a week, once every 2 weeks. So I feel like if it's been a little bit too long, then I'll send them out sooner to people that are like closest to me. And everyone else, if they kind of fall off, then, they fall off. They're not necessarily my friends, so I don't technically care too much. But, like my I guess inner circle, like my closer friends are the ones that I'll hey, how are you? What are you doing? I was thinking about you. Here's this video. But for the most part, all of my friends that are close to me, instead of like texting, I just send them reels. Because every single time I'm scrolling through reels and it reminds me of someone, I just send it to them. Just like, here, take this. This made me think about you. I love your face. Okay, goodbye. I go back to work. And that's just like how I do things.
See, I do that on TikTok, and you don't watch the videos I send you on.
TikTok.
Oh, I have a TikTok now. I'm gonna start going live. I'm like, cool. That means I can send you videos that I like. Cool, got it. doesn't watch my TikToks.
Bruh, not the fucking blood pressure. Y'all watch the Diddy trial. I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow and I don't want my pressure elevated. So you have to sleep early. Okay. Okay, so we can play tomorrow. So my plan anyways was to play Night Rain tomorrow. So we're gonna play Night Rain tomorrow. We can do the Diddy tonight. I was gonna just play Claire Obscure, so I don't mind watching the Diddy stuff. But I will say, I heard you in your stream talking about it, and I was like, damn it, Pumpkin, if you would have said something earlier, I would have never done my makeup because I don't need to cry. I would have showed up in some sweats and PJs, and I would have just thugged it out, you know? No. I didn't want to because I wanted to, dress up. If I'm playing Claire Obscure, I'm gonna be, streaming it to TikTok. I wanted to look cute and presentable for YouTube and TikTok and all the things.
That's not my fault.
That's a little bit of your fault because if I was gonna play that game, we're not watching Diddy. But if we're gonna play Diddy,
we're not gonna watch Diddy. No, we're not gonna watch Diddy then. You know why? Because I want to go to bed. Because I had shit sleep last night. Oh my goodness, you're stinky!
You go get in that trash can and think about what you just did.
That's crazy. I'm offended. I'm actually offended.
Yes, Daddy.
No. No, Pumpkin, no. No. Not the mom. She's so annoying. I hate it. Oh god. With the female reincarnation of my old college roommate. He used to spam me with memes. Well, yeah. I'm still thinking about you. Shit, I'm thinking about you enough to send you a fucking meme. Fight me. I usually send you the middle finger reels. That's facts. Yeah, it's actually funny. Oh, speaking of, I have found these. They're cards. And they're cards of Espanol. And I wanted to do this with stream today. Okay? Nah, I said Diddy.
No?
Yeah. So we're watching Diddy. But we have to read the cards first. So let me show you guys. Ready? This is an I. Do you read it? It says I. I. And this is the Spanish word for I. El ojo. El ojo.
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 Ojo. Okay.
Ojo.
This is an orange.
Mm-hmm. Wait. Orange.
Orange. Wait, I'm gonna turn my camera on for you.
Okay.
Oh god.
Orange.
Orange. The orange. Okay. But in here it's la naranja. La naranja. Yeah. That's all I got. La naranja. I don't know.
Yeah.
Naranja.
Nah,
Yeah.
I'm not letting this slide. It's not la naranja. Naranja.
Oh,
Naranja.
naranja.
Yeah.
Ah,
Doesn't
okay.
it tell you right there?
I mean,
Yeah, that is hella confusing.
Yeah.
Was wild.
This is
Naranja.
dog. What's up, dog? Dog.
No.
So understood, dog.
Dog. El perro.
Perro.
El
Perro.
perro?
Perro.
Perro.
El perro.
Perro. We gotta roll it.
Perro.
Roll.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Perro.
Just pretend like you're driving a car. Perro. Perro.
Perro.
But just make it quick, like a snap. Perro.
Sorry,
This
I'm
one?
used to like learning Japanese and they don't roll their R's. So it's
This-
Yeah.
This one's funny. This is how we're gonna spell cum, by the way. Computer.
Oh God.
Computer.
Computer.
I'll pull out my really
Hi,
poopy
DJ, how are you?
That's a really
computer.
La computa do.
Oh my God.
What? Computadora.
So it's computadora.
Computadora.
Yeah, but don't call somebody a puta.
Puta.
Try not to emphasize the puta because puta is a whore.
Oh,
You
whore.
should write her with every card.
Computadora.
Computadora. Nope. Computadora. It's a puta and a dora. A computadora.
Remember to roll your R a little bit. Computadora. It's almost like a D.
Computadora.
La PC.
La puta Dora. La PC.
Oh. The Dora.
Oh my god. Why do they spell it like that? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Coat.
Why?
I don't know. Coat. It's a coat.
Did it stop raining?
It's an El Abrigo. Abrigo.
You got that? Yeah, you got that.
El
Abrigo.
abrigo.
El
Abrigo.
Abrigo. Dora es la puta com.
Jesus.
That's so crazy.
Jesus. Dora is a young little girl.
Oh, Lord. Oh, goodness. Oh, this one's gonna be funny. Here's this one. It's a book. This looks more Japanese than anything, not gonna lie.
Book.
It's a book.
It's a book.
It's a book.
Book.
It's a book. El Libro.
Yeah,
El Libro.
not simple.
Libro.
Libro.
Which elementary school did you steal this from?
Amazon.
Somebody's just losing resources right now.
Amazon.com.
Oh, here you go. It's a cup.
Where's the H?
A what?
What? Excuse me?
It's a
Cup?
cup.
What?
It's a cup.
It's a cup.
Spanish language
Okay.
is contributing to the CO2 levels. Like a motherfucker is crazy.
What
Um,
is you?
I don't know what this is.
La
La
copa.
copa. La copa.
Copa?
La copa. La copa.
La copa.
Okay, let's see.
I thought it was gonna be called taza, la taza. We don't say la copa de coffee. We say la taza de coffee or de café.
It's a sock. A sock. Okay, what is the word for this one? How do you say sock in Spanish?
Calceta o calcetín.
Oh, well, it's not. It's a la media.
Media, that's stocking.
Well, it's a stocking sock. It's a socking.
Media is like a knee-high stocking.
Well, it's a knee-high stocking.
I thought it was like calcetín or calceta. I never call it a media.
La media. Okay. There's a lot. What is this? Oh my god. Table. Table? Table. Ball.
It's missing a leg.
Why are you putting a French accent on English words?
Table. 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 La mesa.
La mesa.
La mesa.
Myself aplauda.
Okay. I have so many more, so we could do these another time if you guys like. Oh, cookie!
Have a night.
I want to do cookie.
Okay, cookie.
Cookie. Cookie.
I'm spelling cookie like that now. La
You just go
galleta.
wrong. Okay, never mind. That was perfect.
Is it good?
Yeah, double L is like a Y.
So from now on, I call a cookie la galeta.
Oh God.
La galeta. I like galeta. I want the
Shouldn't talk
cookie.
shit.
I get the cookie la galeta.
It's like the quesadilla.
Quesadillas.
Quesadillas. Or
Alright.
So.
Well, I'm gonna go to sleep. You have a good night. Good night,
Okay,
Pumpkin.
good night, White.
night.
It's
Chad.
cookie. And just in time then, yeah. We're about to do it right now. Alright, let's get this started. Enough dimple jabbering and yeah. I did. I typed it, yeah. I don't know if it was well enough, but I typed it. Okay. Let's go.
Kid Cudi's wearing a pair of blue jeans, a black leather jacket, and he likely smells a little bit like cigarettes. And I only say that because prior to sitting on that witness stand at the very front of the courtroom, Kid Cudi is seen getting out of his car in front of the federal courthouse. It's pouring rain outside. A guard is holding an umbrella for him. He looks like he's walking out of a K-drama or some sort of superhero movie. Kid Cudi is smoking a cigarette before walking into that courthouse, which have left a lot of netizens commenting all over the internet. When you smoke a cigarette before walking into court to testify, you know you're about to take somebody down. And now he's sitting in that courtroom. And I will say, it does look like there's 90,000 other places Kid Cudi wants to be, but he does sit up there rather casually. Like, he looks like he might not want to be there, but he doesn't look afraid. He doesn't look intimidated. He looks like he's making a pit stop.
This is Stephanie Sue, in case you didn't know. We've been watching all of her previous explanations about this case on here, pretty much. So I believe this is video number 7 that she came out with, and this is just gonna add on to all the other bullshit that we already know about fucking Diddy. So yeah.
Blanket, are you ready? Are you cuddled up?
I'm not cuddled up, but we'll see. People really try to cancel my girl Stephanie for taking pics in front of the court. Bro, we were just watching a video about that, like trying to cancel her for a lot of things, mainly because she's not a journalist and she's like reporting on everything that's going on in there. So
On a road trip to the federal courthouse
weird.
before the long weekend.
It
His
is fucking
destination is
insane.
the Hamptons. Prosecutor Johnson
Oh
is
my
in the
God.
middle of asking Kid Cudi a bunch of questions in front of the jurors. Why were you
Hi.
concerned
Sorry.
about your safety? Kid Cudi is about to open his mouth and respond, but defense attorney Brian Steele, Young Thug's former attorney, passionately, I don't want to say scream, but he states into the mic, "Objection, Your Honor." The judge is glancing over because, I mean, I don't know, maybe he's thinking what I'm thinking, which is, I feel like that's a valid question. Grounds, speculation, future dangerousness. The judge does not agree. That's overruled. And the prosecutor
Hi,
continues.
Billy. How are
Prosecutor
you?
Johnson looks back up at Kid Cudi. You just said you were concerned for your safety and Miss Ventura, Cassie's safety. Why were you concerned about your safety? Because Brian Steele stands up again. Your Honor, objection. Can we approach? The objection is overruled. Could you just ask the question again, Miss Johnson? Sure. We were talking about when you broke off your relationship with Miss Ventura. Do you remember that? Yes. And that was around the end of the year 2011, is that right? Yes. And you mentioned that you had safety concerns. Yes. Why did you have safety concerns? Because I knew that Sean Combs was Brian Steele is more aggressive this third time. Objection, Your Honor, can we approach? Now, in the midst of this oddly heated exchange,
what?
there is a sidebar.
Hold on.
Jeez, why
You-
so... Holy crap. Go ahead.
This man, this fucking defense lawyer needs to chill the fuck out, because no matter what, Diddy's getting put in prison. He ain't got no survivability out there. This bitch is getting put away. I don't know for how long, but he's getting put away. And his lawyers are trying their best to do anything to say that he's violent. No, he's not. Bitch, yes he is. We have videotape evidence. Anyways, continue.
No, Moxie wanting to punch him out. That shit
Yo,
is
me
funny.
too,
Yeah,
Moxie.
it is. Doing pretty good. Just joining in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hello, God's rule. Yeah. It's a mess. It's a mess. Okay, so for everyone coming in, we're reviewing the Diddy trial case. This is episode 7 of the 7 videos that she had put out about the trials. So we're currently on Kid Cudi's testimony, and beware, there might be mentions of DV and SA and all of the other triggering things. So
yes, please read the pinned comment if you have any issues, and you need to take a break, take a break.
All right, Blue, stop. I feel like so many people are talking about this case that eventually, at some point, it's just gonna come true. All of your speculations. So knock it off.
Where Brian Steele asks the judge, "May I?" "Yes." "Your Honor, I'm going to move for a mistrial." This is Sean Combs' defense attorney. He says, "Your Honor, I'm going to move for a mistrial." The government knows that the answer is about to be that Mr. Combs has had other people killed. This is an outrageous question. I'm sorry, what? The minute that you read this sidebar, because you don't hear this sidebar in court, you get the transcript at the end of the day. Brian Steele, Sean Combs' defense attorney, is saying that the government knows that Kid Cudi is going to tell the jurors that Sean Combs has other people killed.
Yeah, that's some crazy things.
The judge argues back because that's just not how it works. He didn't say that. Brian Steele argues, but he will say that. He hasn't said that. Well, he's about to say it. I'm putting the court on notice. This is where the judge draws his boundaries. No, you don't get to put me on notice. There's no grounds for any kind of application along those lines because no question that you're talking about has been asked.
Hello?
Given. Now, what is your objection to the question that was asked? Why are you scared of Mr. Combs? His answer is going to be because Mr. Combs is violent and he has had other people killed. To which now the public is wondering, he has? Did his attorney just snitch on him? Like, how does he know that that's what Kid Cudi is about to say?
His attorney straight up just snitched on him.
And the transcript on this matter, but we will
God
all in this
damn!
This is the testimony of Kid Cudi and all of the songs that were allegedly made from Kid Cudi about
How
Diddy,
the fuck
and
do you
perhaps
know?
even a
That's
song
what
that
I'm
Diddy was on that
saying.
referenced Kid Cudi.
Like, how do you know he's gonna say that unless you know he did it? Like, huh? That is so wild. Oh my god, wait, whoa. It's already so spicy, and it's just started.
They're a nonprofit organization helping children and adults with disabilities achieve their greatest potentials. This episode's partnerships have also made.
That's the difference. A lot of people do think that Diddy has had people killed before, but they like it's a rumor.
Speculation.
Yeah,
it's a rumor. It's speculation. It's not
exactly.
true.
But when you have a lawyer coming out and saying this, like your lawyer's supposed to know everything, right? You tell your lawyer everything so they know how to get your ass out of those things that you've done. It's so fucking dirty, but that's just how it is. So if your lawyer literally is outing you, then bro, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're gone. Sorry, bud.
You're literally fucked. I'm just saying. Like, that's so crazy. At this point, his lawyer gave up on him. Well, yeah, the rumors of him getting or killing. I don't know. Whatever.
And we'd also like to thank you guys.
I don't know what kind of fucking plot twist he has up his sleeve.
I don't. There are mentions of physical assault,
anything at this point.
Firearms.
Like,
many of the closing statements included have been shortened and condensed for brevity. To cover ourselves legally, you know the drill. Sean Combs is presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The burden of proof is the responsibility of the government, and all of the crimes that he has been charged with are alleged. So please do your own research. Any descriptions and observations.
No, I think you're just crazy.
Courthouse. Any descriptions, observations were seen by myself or 2 of my other researchers that are present in the main courtroom. They should still not be used as definitive sources for determining how you feel about one party or another. So with that being said, let's get started. It's Kid Cudi Day. The courtroom is back to being packed. So I'm just going to give you guys an idea. I will say the first week when the trial really kicked off with opening statements and then obviously Cassie Ventura testifying, everybody was honestly shoving to get inside the main courtroom.
No, she doesn't.
Crazy. They only allow a certain number of people from the press and public in. And I'm talking full-grown adults. I'm like, I just saw you on TV giving me the morning news before I got here, and now we're like 2 seconds away from a cafeteria food fight, from elbowing each other to get inside. That was the first week. And then things started dying down, and now, the day that everybody knows Kid Cudi is coming to testify, it is back to being fully jam-packed. Officer Riz, he's the officer that runs the courtroom. He is like very strongly, like he just only loves his family. That's what he says all the time. He's like, who's King Cudi? Everybody's talking about King Cudi. And we're like, Officer Riz, it is Kid
so he had
Cudi.
no idea.
No.
Okay.
He's just here to make sure everything in the courtroom goes smoothly. I don't think he really cares about celebrity culture and celebrities and stuff like that. The press pews are like listening intently because we have no further context to everything that's going on. So we sit down, the attorneys are in there, and they're passionately talking already. The jurors are not here. The defendant is here, and everybody's very passionate, and they're talking about a dog. So all the press, they're opening up their journals, they're writing down, whose dog are we talking about?
The judge is not there?
The judge is there, and the judge is listening to the arguments about the dog, presumably Kid Cudi's dog. Something happened to Kid Cudi's dog. Defense attorney Brian Steele argues, I think that if the government is going to do this, they say that the witness's dog was put behind a closed door on or around December 22nd of 2011. I just want to make sure that they're not going to elicit testimony from him that the dog acted differently thereafter, somehow traumatized. Prosecutor Johnson stands up. Your Honor, Mr. Miscuddy will certainly testify about the location of the dog when he came home because that's relevant to his understanding of whether someone had been in his home or not, because his dog had not been locked up when he left his home. I do think his observations about his dog after are relevant to the effects of this break-in on him. The judge ponders for 0.2 seconds. He thinks on like 20 times speed, I think. The judge does say he's not going to testify about what the dog thought. The prosecutor's like, he's not going to testify about what the dog thought. Certainly not. He is not a dog psychic. The press start giggling. The judge clarifies. He's going to say that the visible demeanor of the dog was different than it was usually. And given that it's his dog, he would know what the dog usually acts like. Correct.
Okay.
He's going to say after the break-in, the dog was jumpier and scared and more scared. Brian Steele is not trying to agree with any of this, though. I will object. I don't see why we're getting into what a dog... The judge, though, is seemingly in a good mood. Let the record reflect the smirk on Mr. Steele's face. So, like, we're trying to get a vibe as a press, okay? Because we don't know what the testimony is. Kid Cudi hasn't testified yet, so we don't know what we're talking about. His dog, we don't know what happened to his dog. We're so in the dark, but Brian Steele is smirking. The judge seems to be in good spirits. We just go with the flow, honestly. We just, like, when it seems like we should be giggling, we try to giggle. I think that's the vibe. But Brian Steele says, I can't imagine that this is something that should come into this trial. It's, you know, afterwards, day 2 after the event. The next year, the dog was never the same. The dog urinated on the floor.
You need to play the song.
Now we traumatize the dog. That's really what the government is doing here. There are some dog lovers potentially on the jury. The judge says, I agree. This is a very serious issue. And he cracks a little smile, and then the press are like, that's our cue to laugh. It was kind of cute. It was kind of funny, I guess, because we don't know the context of anything that's going on. These are just very serious, high-paid, high-powered attorneys talking about a dog and dog psychics. The judge asks, Ms. Johnson, I think there is a fair point. What are we talking about here? Is he going to say that when he got home and he opened the door, he noticed that the dog was acting differently? Or is he going to like, now, even now, my dog acts differently? At a certain point, it becomes kind of a far field. I agree, Your Honor. Unfortunately, the dog is no longer with us. And there are literal from the gallery. Because it's just, none of us were expecting that. It feels out of context. The way that this whole dog argument was being delivered, it felt like a very light morning, and then it got very depressing. The judge says, as long as the dog's behavior is in relation to the actual event, he will allow those questions. And after that, I will say the energy persists to be a little bit more tense. I don't know if it's just there's more people in the courtroom, and it feels like something more serious is going on, even though every single day of the trial has been equally serious. But there's just all these weird tension-breaking moments. I will say there have been 2 court reporters that have pretty much consistently been in the room while they were covering the trial. So it's 2 of them, and they'll take turns, and they'll swap out, and then they'll go do the transcript, and then they'll come back, and it's like a whole operation. They're incredible at their jobs. But I do think, like, recently, I don't know if the audio in the room was messing up, because every single time one of the attorneys would talk, specifically Brian Steele, the court reporter would not be able to hear what he is saying. And maybe it's because Brian Steele was not using the microphone correctly, but it's a lot of this tension of like, what did you just say? And then the attorney has to repeat themselves, and it's like a very serious matter that they're repeating themselves slowly, and it's just like
So you're saying...
Yes.
So you're saying the court reporter would jump in? Like, can you say that one more time?
Yes, and then I think it's because his voice is not one that we're used to hearing, that even like we get a little jumpy. We're like, wait, who is talking right now? Who's saying that?
I see.
So it's just like adding a little, it's like an extra zing of tension nonstop throughout the day.
I
Like,
see.
okay, like we gotta pause and they gotta repeat themselves, and it's just, it feels like a different day. Beyond that,
I don't know if
the
she
best way to
is.
describe
I
Sean
couldn't
Combs'
know.
energy recently is that he's been trying to interact with the jury more.
Sorry.
And I don't want to say this word, but I'm gonna say it. I feel like he's pandering. I don't know. That's the best word that we can come up with. And I don't know if he's intentionally pandering. I think the perception is that, because for so long he would glance at the jurors. He would nod at the jurors when they walk in. He would sometimes glance at them and shake his head disapprovingly when a witness says something that he is trying to show them is not true, or show them he disagrees with it. Or if somebody says something slightly positive about him, that he will agree and he'll kind of nod his head and maybe glance over at the jurors. There is this one interesting moment, and I'm telling you, everybody was getting sick in that courtroom. Everybody's sneezing, it's freezing. One juror in the front row starts rubbing their arms because they're cold. Everybody's rubbing their arms. And what it feels like to us is that it feels like Sean Combs catches that, and the rest of the day, he keeps looking over at the jury and like very dramatically shaking. Like those cartoons where you're shivering. And then
Bro,
you rub your
what?
arms. He's like rubbing his arms, basically mouthing, so cold, so cold. He's like rubbing his hands together like he's starting a fire, and then
Can't
like,
roll
blowing
my
into his
eyes
hands.
further
Okay, so
is
you're saying he's looking at the
insane.
jurors and then also
He's trying to
signal
connect
them
with
to, hey, I'm
them.
cold, so cold, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
he's
that
I
what
trying
relate
happened
to
here?
you, like I'm struggling
Yes.
just like you guys. I'm experiencing the same is what it felt like to us.
Right, right. It's like
Yeah,
building
that's
rapport
what it
with,
seems like.
body language.
Yeah, and like he's like into his hands, which I agree, it's cold, but I don't know if
Bro,
it's
like,
that
it's
cold.
not that
I mean-
cold. Like, chill your titties, dude. Hold on one second. Yeah, he's looking for sympathy. Poor bro.
It's a fucking suck, buddy. No sympathy
Blanket on my
from
bed?
me.
Oh, I do have a blanket on my bed. Like, I'm actually cold, okay? I'm cold listening to this shit.
See, that's why I asked if you had your blanket and you were all cuddled up and ready. But no. None is in the pumpkin.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Fine. Fine. Ugh.
I'm gonna eat cookies while we do this.
Damn, you make me want to get ice cream now.
There's one part, and like, look, I'm also honking in the courtroom. There are times where I'm like trying to wait for the least important parts where there really aren't any, where I can like quickly blow my nose into a tissue because it's more disturbance to leave the room. I always try to find the best time to blow my nose when the judge is like not on the bench or when there's the least amount of people. But one thing I noticed, and this timing was interesting, this one time where, and I'm not saying he did this on purpose, I think it's a hard time controlling it, but it was interesting. Okay, so the jurors, right before they walk in, it's pretty slow. They're like, the attorneys are talking. There's like a little dead moment where not much is happening. They're not like aggressively talking about objections. They're just waiting for the jurors to walk in. Sean Combs seems to just be sitting there. And then the jurors walk in, they're seated, everybody is trying to get settled. Sean Combs reaches over, grabs a tissue, and just like noisily honks his nose. And I'm like, I don't know, if it were me, I feel like I would have done that 2 minutes ago before they walked in.
Okay.
It wasn't like a sneeze, it was like, you kind of know when you're gonna blow your nose. So it was just very interesting. It felt like in conjunction, in addition to all the shivering and the rubbing his arms dramatically, it just felt like maybe he's
Right.
just
Trying to
building rapport with
humanize
jurors.
himself.
And do I blame him for that? Probably not, because I'm sure a lot of defendants try to do that. But nevertheless, with Kid Cudi testifying, netizens are starting to dig deep into the Kid Cudi lore right now. They are psychoanalyzing all of Kid Cudi's songs, trying to see if any of them were written about Diddy. One Kid Cudi song is called Burn Baby Burn, and the lyrics read, "Burn baby burn, truthfully and noted, I'm back, so please no more speculation about that. I'm back, they think I'm living life paranoid, mother that man. They got me twisted, they don't know that boy. I'm just getting busy killing it. I just want to watch it burn baby burn." That song was released in 2023. So these are like netizen speculations before Kid Cudi is testifying. So I think the minute that people found out he's testifying on what day, the day before, the internet is like, let's try to dig up anything we can find. Because so far, all we know is Cassie's civil lawsuit stated that Sean Combs allegedly tried to blow up Kid Cudi's Porsche through a Molotov cocktail. And then Cassie testified, and she briefly also kind of mentioned it, but it didn't go in depth. And now people are like, okay, now that we know a general timeline, let's go through his music catalog. Another one is Dennis hooked me up with some of that whiskey. It was released the same year his car was set on fire, a few months after, actually, like 2 months later. The lyrics read, "They really want me dead. Hate. Not my fault, I'm intriguing. Here I go with my second wind. You already know I'm going in. I've been waiting to on you." Now, side note, screenshots show, old screenshots, allegedly show that he tweeted around this time when he released this song, "Do you guys want to know whose girl found me intriguing?"
Wow.
And then he deleted it, and allegedly he said that he was hacked. Even Kid Cudi's 2013, so this is a year after his car blows up. His 2013 album
meant to say that.
The album cover
1000%.
is just an explosion that's framed. It's like the red flames of an explosion with the parental advisory in the corner. And netizens are now wondering, is that about Diddy allegedly trying to blow up his car because of Cassie? And everybody's confused. Are these songs about his car being set on fire? Which, side note, nobody even knew up until like a few years ago. I mean, how did they keep this under wraps for so long? That's what some netizens are wondering. And I think a lot of the reason that netizens have taken it upon themselves to search into Kid Cudi's lyrics is he's pretty well known for his artistry. People will say that you can clearly see what type of era in life he is in by his music. His creative process feels a lot more raw versus manufactured, like the sequence of lyrics will go TikTok viral, which nothing's wrong with that. But generally speaking, his lyrics are known to have a much deeper meaning. In March of 2012, so just 2 months after his car was allegedly set on fire, Kid Cudi tweets, "I hope they understand that I really understand that they don't understand." But again, nobody at the time even knew that his car was on fire. Nobody knew that any of this.
What?
is allegedly set on fire, Kid Cudi tweets, I hope they understand that I really understand.
I hope they understand that I really understand that they don't understand. Huh? Holy Lord. Yeah, Sean is dying there. Clearly, it seems like it.
That they don't understand. But again, nobody at the time even knew that his car had been set on fire. Nobody knew that any of this was happening. I was lurking on some gossip blogs from the 2012 time period, and I did see one post from 2012. This is from April of 2012. 3 months
What if
after
it
his car was
takes
set
a
on fire.
while?
This is a random gossip
You know,
blog
no
that reads,
type of shit,
Kid
yeah.
Cudi about to die. Sources close to the rapper are alleging that he definitely slept with bad boy artist and Diddy love interest Cassie and is now living in fear for his life. Everyone kept it hush-hush in the industry, but the rumors were bound to come out eventually. News of the
Why does this picture look like Rihanna?
Oh my goodness.
It does. Anyway.
betrayal has been spreading like wildfire. The good news for Cassie is, while Diddy is allegedly very upset initially, the affair seems to have brought Diddy and Cassie closer. So now I'm like, what is happening? And there is a rumor from the same gossip thread that Diddy's song from March 5th, 2012, again, just a few months after the car fire, is, well, it's not actually his song, but it's Red Cafe's song, which is an artist signed with Bad Boy. And he, French Montana, and 2 Chainz were featured on it. That song has Kid Cudi by name. The lyrics for Diddy's verse read, sorry ass out here looking funny, so I'm in my own world, spaced out Kid Cudi. Hold the up, R.I.P. Huddy. Side note.
Spaced out like Cudi?
Yeah, so I think it seems like he's trying to take a reference at the fact that Kid Cudi is not as involved in the Hollywood life. He kind of does his own thing.
I see.
He likes to make his music. He has a lot of famous friends. Like, some of his closest friends are like Timothy Chalamet, Pete Davidson, but it seems like he keeps to himself. He kind of has his own.
I mean,
little
that's
world.
good.
It's like a somewhat of a dig.
Yeah.
That's not
and then
bad.
He says R.I.P. Huddy. Now, Huddy is apparently a friend of Diddy's that passed away. So people are just digging all of this up in 2012 and then now in 2025. And it seems like maybe Sean Combs is in fact worried about all the things that these witnesses are going to say about him, against him on the stand, because he has hired a man named Stefan Casella. This is the newest addition to his legal team, but he's not going to show up to trial. This guy is going to be behind the scenes. I don't think we're ever really going to hear from this man. He is the former deputy chief of the Justice Department's asset forfeiture and money laundering section.
He had
He's
an
probably the
inferiority
country's foremost expert in
complex.
asset forfeiture and money laundering. He's actually worked
can
for the
see
other
that.
side. He has worked with the feds for
Wait.
nearly 30 years
Wait.
until 2015.
That is crazy. So now
Yes.
he's gone fully private, his own
Yes.
practice, and Diddy's like, come here.
Yeah, he was like probably at the top of the feds, working for the other side. He basically created all the laws that Diddy is now facing for the RICO charges.
Whoa.
He recently started going private in 2015. He opened up his own private firm. Basically, this is the guy that wrote the legislature that is now putting Diddy at risk for his $400 million empire. Because it's not just life in prison that Diddy is facing. RICO charges means that the government can seize Diddy's assets.
He's 400 million? I thought he was a billionaire.
He was a billionaire, and then a lot of that just started plummeting.
Like his business assets?
Yeah, because a lot of
valuations?
it was his like tequila and alcohol brand interests that he
okay,
had.
okay, right.
And now he's being hired by Diddy. Stefan Casella is being hired by Diddy to make sure that he does not lose whatever money he has. Now, to give you an idea of how influential this man is, he has a monthly reader, like a money laundering and forfeiture digest publication. 80 of the 90 U.S. attorney offices read the publication every single month. This is the thing with RICO charge. If he's convicted of that RICO charge, his assets, if the government can prove that it was used to commit a crime, they can seize it.
Wow.
So it's not just life in prison. He's
That
like,
sucks,
he could
dude.
lose all of his money. So essentially, if he's convicted, and let's say an
Oh,
assault takes
no.
place at a recording studio, that means not only could the studio be
He
forfeited as
loses
an asset to the
everything.
government, but the
Oh,
recording company that
no.
paid for said studio could also be up for forfeiture. Basically, the prosecutors, if they get a guilty verdict, they're going to go after $400 million, and they're incentivized to. That includes his residences, like his $61 million LA mansion that he's been putting on the market for the past, I don't know, a year. Multiple mansions in Miami worth tens of millions of dollars. There's at least
My
one painting that
goodness.
we know of, which is a $21.1 million painting by Kerry James Marshall. He has a private jet, an entire car dealership worth of luxury cars. That's all going to be up for grabs. The government's going to want that. If he's convicted, as long as the government can establish a clear connection
God
between each asset
damn.
and the alleged criminal enterprise, it's the government's money.
Wow.
That's why he's hired
eh?
Casella.
So now I'm curious, what is Casella going to do?
His main thing is he has a very sophisticated asset tracing analysis. That's what he's known for. So he's going to go in there, and I mean, it's probably a lot smarter than the way that I'm explaining it, and much more complicated, I'm sure. But Simply put, he's probably going to meticulously document all the, quote, clean assets that have no relation to any alleged criminal activity, which means the government cannot seize those assets. There are even speculations because people were wondering, why did Sean Combs not take his plea deal? So people thought maybe he didn't take it because he was so confident, like he's a narcissist, he thought he was going to beat the charges, or maybe the government doesn't have evidence and he knows it. Like there were lots of speculations. But now, with the hiring of Stephen Casella, people are wondering, maybe he didn't take it because if you take the plea deal, it likely would have resulted in asset forfeitures. The Money Laundering and Forfeiture Digest, written by Casella, shows that 89% of RICO pleas include asset surrender. So if you plead guilty, it includes asset surrender.
Wow.
Which makes sense. And if Sean Combs is convicted, it'll probably be a very intense fight to keep his assets from being seized by the feds. And it seems like he's going to fight hard.
Wow. Okay.
Before Kid Cudi walks into the courtroom, everybody's already turned looking at the door behind the pews. Like, we are physically turned 180 degrees, Sean Combs included. So I'm like looking at him through my peripheral. He's staring at the back doors for a second, and then I think he realizes that he doesn't want to be doing that because suddenly he's the only one facing forward. He like refuses to look at the back now. When Kid Cudi walks in, everybody's staring. Everybody's body is shifting as he's walking down the aisle. Kid Cudi's eyes, just like many of the other witnesses, are trained to the front. He does not look at Diddy. He goes straight to the very front where the judge is. I mean, there's got to be at least a few fans in the courtroom, right? Like, that's what I was thinking, because that was a lot of people in the press, the public, the gallery. I mean, hopefully not the jury, because they're not supposed to know who he is. Now, Sean Combs is a statue. Like, just a statue again. He watches Kid Cudi when he's already in eyesight, and then he watches him sit all the way down on the witness stand. And it's a very intense look. At some points during the direct, Combs looks like he's just staring in a trance. And all you hear are like the sketch artists going crazy on their canvases. And I will say they did do Kid Cudi a little dirty. Now, Kid Cudi's...
Okay, now that you said Diddy's like a statue again.
Yes.
It sounds almost like when whoever's sitting there is
Sorry, I
high
did
stake
cry today,
for
so
him or
we'll
for the
see.
media, he's like a statue because he
Yes.
has to
I
really
am
watch
the
everything because likely maybe he
Oh,
will
you
want to
are-
show some
it
reaction.
is.
So he put more
The way
emphasis
I
on his
am.
own body languages.
When someone is more high stakes, he's definitely more statuesque, especially if it's a personal relationship. So I feel like there are other high stakes witnesses here and
I
there,
see.
but it seems like the people
But what about like all the assistants that you mentioned, like that has came before Cudi?
statue, but nowhere near a statue. Like, I
Right.
would say Cassie, Don Richard, Kid Cudi, like these are strong interpersonal relationships where I do think personal assistants, I feel like Sean Combs looks at them a certain way. It's like a different category for him.
Yeah.
These are people that have very complicated interpersonal weavings throughout his life. And it feels like he's a lot more
Oh,
statuesque. Now, what's
popcorn.
interesting is he's very statuesque during the direct, during
11.
cross-examination,
Oh,
because now
popcorn.
the
It's-
witnesses
Yeah.
are getting, their credibility is
I can go
technically
get
being attacked
popcorn.
because that's the whole point of a cross-examination. He's a lot more moving. His eyeballs are moving around more. He's looking towards his attorney and the jurors a lot more often. He seems a lot more free usually. So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, Kid Cudi's direct examination is handled by prosecutor Emily Johnson, the same one that did Cassie Ventura's, and they immediately just get into the part that the jurors want to know. Did there come a time when law enforcement responded to your home in December of 2011? Yes. Why did law enforcement respond in 2011? Because I had a break-in. I'd like to start at the beginning of the break-in. How did that day
Okay.
start? Well, I got a call from Cassie around 5:30, 6 a.m., and she told me that Sean Combs had found out about us. I was really confused, but she asked me to pick her up. She sounded really stressed on the phone, nervous, scared, so I went to pick her up. And yeah, Kid Cudi is explaining that
And
even that
yeah,
phone call
just
at 6
like
a.m.,
that.
which already based on the time is probably disorienting. He tells prosecutor Johnson, yeah, he was definitely confused by the entirety of the phone call because he didn't even think that Cassie and Combs were still dating.
Oh.
So she's like, he found out about us and he probably was thinking something along the lines of like, why does it matter? I thought you guys weren't together. He says,
Yeah.
I didn't think that she was still dealing with him. Because prior to all of this, when Kid Cudi and Cassie start dating, he says that he asked her about Sean Combs, quote, like if they're still hanging out. Now, Johnson is clarifying though, because after the phone call, he goes to pick her up. So she's like, why? If you just found out that they're still dating and she told you they weren't dating, like why'd you go pick her up? She wanted me to come pick her up. And she was also worried that he would come to my house because he asked for my address and she gave it to him. He goes to pick her up. and he
Why
describes
would she give it to
Cassie as
him?
being really, quote, very stressed, nervous, just scared, didn't know what Sean Combs would do.
What?
Just a reference going back to Cassie's testimony. I do think it's interesting how each witness talks about the same incident from a different perspective. I do wonder, with the trial expected to be a full 8 weeks, how the jurors are gonna like piece it together, because just even going through and cross-referencing the transcripts is a lot of work. And so far, we're only a small portion through the entirety of the trial. Now, we cross-reference with Cassie's testimony about that night, and she was likely stressed and scared because she was at Sean's house. She describes him as irate. He had just found out at a freak-off about the fact that she was dating Scott
Oh.
Muscati.
Through her text message in the
Yes.
middle of a freak out.
Yes.
Right.
And she said he was just so angry. She says he threatens to release freak off videos of her to hurt her relationship with Scott. And as she's leaving his house, she says, quote, Sean, kicked me in my back on the way out. So I just had a big bruise on my back. I fell to the floor and yeah, Then I left. She goes back to her hotel to get her burner phone to call Scott. But the hotel room that she was staying in was trashed completely. She said it was just torn up. There was somebody peed all over the floor in the bathroom. My clothes were everywhere. The furniture was turned upside down. Somebody pooped in the toilet and didn't flush it. It was just gross. Presumably, she called Scott from this hotel sounding terrified. He picks her up, and the two of them go to another hotel, the Sunset Marquis. Kid Cudi says he picked that hotel because he used to go there and he just thought it was a safe place where she would be off the radar. At this point, Sean Combs isn't even looking at Kid Cudi. He's just taking notes in the courtroom. Like, he looks, it's so disorienting because sometimes I look over at him and he has the demeanor of someone in the press pew. Which I don't know what demeanor I'm expecting from him. And this is not like me critiquing his demeanor or like trying to police someone's demeanor or psychoanalyze it. It just always throws me off sometimes because he'll have his glasses on and he just looks like a member of the press. Just like, let me write down my notes. Because I don't get that feeling from the attorneys next to him. Maybe it's when he writes, he like tilts his head sometimes and it has like a more like relaxed demeanor, whereas attorneys are like scribbling, kind of like head down. I mean, he has those moments too, but it's just interesting. Now they get to the hotel, and the only person that they really speak to aside from hotel staff is a woman named Capricorn Clark. And you have to remember this woman because in a day or two, there's going to be an episode on her. And it was probably the most interesting testimony. A lot happens in that testimony, but she's the one that accuses Sean Combs of kidnapping her by gunpoint. So we'll get into that in the next episode, but this is where things kind of get tricky. Kid Cudi describes Capricorn Clark as being Cassie's close friend. So there must be a very strong friendship element there.
His
or at least
little neon notebook.
Kid Cudi even says she hung out with me and Cassie a lot. However, Capricorn Clark is also Sean Combs' former assistant and now the director for his clothing brand, Sean John, the global director. Meaning she is ultimately on Diddy's payroll.
Does that look like an Illuminati sign?
And Kid Cudi.
The hat. It looks like Illuminati.
I got nothing for you.
Like an eyeball and triangle.
Meaning she is ultimately on Diddy's payroll. So now at the hotel, they're on the phone with Capricorn Clark, and Kid Cudi says he hears Capricorn's voice over the phone. And she sounds very scared. Sounds like she's on the verge of tears. And according to Kid Cudi, that's when she tells them, Capricorn tells them, that Sean Combs and the affiliates were in my house and she was in a car.
Or, okay, I don't know. I don't know Gravity Falls.
Now, to give you some context to all of this, we don't get as much context during Kid Cudi's testimony, but now that Capricorn Clark has testified, which, again, that episode should be up in like a day or two, we get a fuller picture. Capricorn Clark was one of the only people in Cassie's life that knew that she was dating Scott Mescudi, aside from her family. So Capricorn Clark calls them, and she's like, hey, I'm at Kid Cudi's house. Sean Combs and his affiliates are at Kid Cudi's house. They're like inside his house.
So she's calling secretly.
Yeah, she's like, I'm in the car outside, and they're in your house.
I'm giving you a heads up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she doesn't even know Kid Cudi's with Cassie. She's like, hey, Cassie, they're inside Kid Cudi's house right now. I'm outside in the car. They forced me to come here. I don't want to be here. Now, at that point, Kid Cudi says, he kind of starts freaking out. Prosecutor Johnson asks him, after you spoke to Capricorn, what did you do next? I got in my car and I went to my house. Did anyone go with you when you went to your house after the phone call? No. He gets into his Porsche 911 Cabriolet, kind of pertinent later. Now, side note, Cabriolet is essentially just a convertible. And his specifically has a soft top, so it's more fabric than a hard shell convertible. Again, pertinent later. He gets into his car. It's nighttime in LA. He's driving to his house. He starts calling Sean Combs. He has his number. Can you describe the conversation that you had with Mr. Combs on the drive to your home? Yeah, I'm going to be very candid. I said, motherfucker, are you in my house? And he was like, what's up? I just want to talk to you. I was like, I'm on my way over right now. He was like, well, I'm here.
That is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's me. I would probably call the cops or something because someone's like breaking into my house already with some crazy intent. I don't know if I would just go straight home and face them like that.
I also don't know if I would start the phone call with motherfucker, you in my house when they're in my house.
Yeah, that's kind of...
Yeah, but he's like driving. He's on the phone. When Mr. Combs said, I'm over here waiting for you, what was your understanding of where Mr. Combs was located? At my house. What was Mr. Combs' tone of voice during the phone call? Calm. When Kid Cudi gets home, he says the outside looks the same as it typically does. It looks normal, so he doesn't do like a thorough check. It's not until later he realizes that all of the security cameras that were on the outside of his house, for example, the camera that would be angled towards the front door, because that makes the most sense. You want to see who's coming out the door, coming and going, but someone had moved it to the opposite side, basically probably pointing it at like the wall, like the building or something where it doesn't really capture anything of importance or relevance. Kid Cudi walks into the house and there is nobody there. Nobody's in the house. It's empty. So were they lying? Is Capricorn Clark lying? Is Sean Combs lying? Was nobody inside the house?
What the hell?
He says that he notices two things. First of all, it's December of 2011, so right around Christmas time. And Kid Cudi had gone to Chanel, bought a bunch of Christmas gifts for his whole entire family, and they're all open. There's no talk about if any of the gifts were stolen, so I don't think so. And this is perhaps Perhaps an associate of Combs, perhaps a random person unrelated, perhaps Combs himself. It seems like this is their way of telling Kid Cudi, I was in your house. But of course you can't do anything about it because it's not like they broke the furniture. It's not like they stole the goods. It's like
Just move some shit around.
Yeah, and like we lived in LA for 10 years. Imagine calling LAPD and saying, so they came in and they unwrapped the Chanel bows. They'd be like, hey, we don't care.
Yeah.
Like, they really wouldn't care. You call the police about a break-in, they've opened your Christmas presents, no property damage, nobody was injured. They didn't even steal said Christmas presents. The LAPD would act like they didn't see a thing. Now, the second thing that he noticed was he normally lets his dog roam the entire house. His dog is now, which, side note, okay, maybe the LAPD did try harder because he's Kid Cudi. I don't know. I'm just saying, as a normal person with LAPD, they're
no, like I can totally see
you can
them
totally see that. Yeah, okay.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
oh yeah, they will totally say.
They're gonna testify, so we'll see. But it doesn't seem like the investigation really led anywhere, and I can totally see them not caring at all. So now he also notices that, and the second thing that Kid Cudi notices is that he normally lets his dog roam the entire house. His dog is now locked away in the bathroom. So this is like what the attorneys are all arguing about. They didn't want this in the testimony. The door is shut, and everything is not normal because that's not what happens. Like, this is weird. Now, the sad part is, even afterwards, Kid Cudi's dog was basically never the same. Kid Cudi does describe his dog as being very jittery and kind of on edge all the time afterwards, which I'm sure the defense attorneys really did not like that he said that. After you got to your home, what did you do after that? I got in the car, and that's when I called Sean Combs. Why did you call Mr. Combs again? Because I was looking for him. Why were you looking for him? Because I wanted to confront him. I wanted to fight him, you know? Did he answer? Yes. Can you describe that conversation for the jury? I can't remember my exact words, but I was kind of like asking him where he was, and he was like, I'm on my way, I'm on my way. So at that point, I hung up, and I thought to myself, I was like, okay, you're angry, just think about this,
like
you know?
celebrities,
And like, I just thought, like,
cop.
I don't know who he has with him. I don't know what his intentions are. What were your concerns, if any, about going to your house that day? I didn't really know what I was walking into, but I was so angry at first. Then once I thought about it, not really knowing if they had any weapons or if there was any type of situation like that, that's when I called the police. Mr. Muscati, what did you do after that phone call with Sean Combs? I thought about the reality of the situation,
Fair,
not knowing
honestly.
what I was walking myself into, so I decided to call the police. Kid Cudi says the police arrive at his house, they make a report, and he goes back to Cassie, who just seems really stressed out. Now, since it's right around Christmas time, and I don't know if this was planned, I don't think that this was the original plan, Cassie had plans to go be with her family in Connecticut. Kid Cudi ends up flying out with her. So perhaps it's like this event startled them, so he got tickets, or he already was gonna go, I don't know. He flies out with her, stays with her and the family. Can you generally describe Miss Ventura's demeanor when you were in Connecticut for the holidays with her family? I think being around her family really did a lot for her at the time. She really needed it. But while they're still there, Sean Combs is still reaching out to Kid Cudi, texting him. I mean, it wasn't every day. It kind of stopped at some point when I responded to him and I told him I didn't want to talk. His text messages were always along the lines of him wanting to speak, just get to the bottom of it. When you say get to the bottom of it, what are you talking about? Just figure out what's going on, I guess. He was in the dark about things and wanted to talk. But at that point, you know, post-break-in, I don't want to talk to him. Did you respond to Mr. Combs' text? Yeah, I told him, you know, specifically, told him, you broke into my house, you messed with my dog, like, I don't want to talk to you. This is December of 2011. They get back in January of 2012, so like weeks later. Cassie and Kid Cudi aren't even hanging out much anymore. So according to Cassie's testimony, she mentioned that she wanted to end things with Kid Cudi because it was just escalating to be too much and she felt like this was the safest way for all the parties involved. Now, January 9th, 2012, Kid Cudi gets a call from his dog sitter at 6:30 in the morning that someone just tried to blow up his car. Now, to give you some context, Kid Cudi's not home. He's at a friend's house about 45 minutes away. The dog sitter's at his house. She calls him from his residence, and according to Kid Cudi, she told me my car was on fire in the driveway. After you received this phone call from your dog sitter, what did you do? I immediately went to my house. Pictures of his car are admitted to evidence, and it looks like someone sliced open the top of his soft top convertible, threw in a Molotov cocktail. Visually, there's charring on the driver's seat, there's smoke damage on the door, there's charring on the roof. Some say visually the car doesn't look that messed up, but it was bad enough that the car was totaled. It was not salvageable.
Dude.
Mr. Muscati, what's a Molotov cocktail to your understanding? It's, would you say, an explosive or something like that? I guess it's a bottle with some type of inflammatory liquid inside and a cloth that you light on fire and it ignites. Kid Cudi says that he actually saw the Molotov cocktail when he got home and it was just kind of burnt up. What was your reaction to your car being set on fire? He leans into the mic. What the fuck? Objection!
Overruled. What do you mean objection? Yes, what the fuck?
Saw Cassie Ventura was a few days after his car was lit on fire.
Oh my
at the Soho
god.
House in LA, which Cassie also confirmed in her testimony, and it's going to be the three of them meeting. Sean Combs, Kid Cudi, and Cassie. Kid Cudi says, I reached out to Sean Combs after my car caught on fire and, you know, finally told him that we needed to meet up to talk, you know? He had been wanting to talk to me, so after the fire, I was like, this is getting out of hand. I need to talk to him. Why was it Mr. Combs you reached out to after the fire? Because I knew he had something to do with it. Objection. Objection is sustained. The jury should disregard the witness's last answer. Can you describe what happened when you arrived at the Soho house? Yeah, I walked in and I met with D-Rock, Combs' security guard. He was escorting me into one of the meeting rooms in Soho House. And then I got into the meeting room and it was like one wall was all window and Sean Combs was standing there staring out the window with his hands behind his back like a Marvel supervillain. And the whole courtroom, they're just giggling. The jurors are giggling because it's so like out of nowhere. Like we were so serious, like everything is so tense, and then we are kind of. I mean, you can picture him standing there looking like a Marvel supervillain, and the only thing not giggling is Sean Combs. He does not find this very funny at all.
Really?
Not even a little bit humorous.
Huh.
Yeah, it was just me and him in the room, no security, nobody. What happened when it was just you and Mr. Combs in the room at the Soho House? We discussed, you know, pretty much the whole story about how me and Cassie first started to date, to what it was, to how it ended, and his whole point was, you know, we were homies, you know, that was my girl. I let him know that, you know, she told me that they were broken up, and I took her word for it. Yeah. What was Mr. Combs' demeanor during the meeting? Very calm. He kept offering me water. He offered me water twice, which I thought this part was so interesting because I don't think offering water to someone twice itself is intriguing or memorable in any way because this happened in 2012. It is now 2025. But clearly it must have stood out to Kid Cudi enough that not only does he remember it decade later, but he mentions it in the testimony.
And twice.
Yes. And like, again, twice is not, it must have, something about the two times must have been weird.
Yes.
That he can't maybe necessarily even articulate because I don't think you know when you just have a feeling and you're like, that was weird, but I don't.
Did he take it though?
I don't think so.
Right. So he must remember that, like, you
give me water.
I'm not drinking that. I am not drinking that.
Or like maybe he just kept saying, "You look thirsty. Drink some water." And you're like, "I'm not thirsty," but like that's weird.
But I don't want water.
Keep asking me if I want water when we're already talking, and I'm not staying for a long time. I don't know.
Or
it's weird.
You think like even the way that he's trying to blow up his car, it's a crazy threat, right? He's coming after him. So,
allegedly blow up his car. Oh, well, yeah, he claims, yes.
But he showed up. He still showed up with Diddy.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Did he say that if he's nervous, he's scared? Because that's a really brave move, like going directly to Diddy.
He didn't say any of that. He just said they needed to figure it out because it's escalating too much. It's getting out of hand. I also wonder if it's like, you know, in the industry.
You know what's funny? Because when you have like relationships in high school and stuff, it's usually like, oh, you fucked my girl or whatever, and like, you know, a little pow pow, and then it's done, right? Over here, it's you're fucking with my girl, let me stalk you, break into your house, burn your car, and then offer you some rigged ass water while we're calmly talking to each other. It's like so weird.
Hold on.
Oh,
allegedly. My brother was affiliated with someone who stabbed someone over a girl, so anyways. Allegedly.
You can't really, I guess, I don't know.
It's like going into your enemy's home base. Yeah.
What was your reaction to his demeanor? It was very off-putting. It was weird that he was so calm. Eventually, Cassie walks in, and Kid Cudi says he was kind of upset to find out that she was going back to Sean. Can you describe how the meeting with Mr. Combs ended at Soho House? Yeah, we stood up, shook hands, and as I was shaking his hand, I said, "What are you gonna do about my car?" I made sure to ask him right when our hands were clasped together, where he couldn't run away and I could look him square in his eyes. And he looked right back at me with a very cold stare and said, "I don't know what you're talking about." I said, "Okay." Took my hand from his, and he said, "Wait, I thought we were cool. Is there a problem?" I was like, "You said you didn't burn my car, right? You said. That's your word." He said, "Yeah." I was like, "That's it." A few years later, Kid Cudi mentions he runs back into Sean Combs at the Soho House. He was with his daughter, and he pulled me to the side and basically apologized for everything. He said, and I quote, "Man, I just want to apologize for everything and all that bullshit." After I got the apology, I kind of found peace with it because I thought, you know, that was the last thing I was expecting to get from him. Now, side note about this Soho House incident, Combs' defense attorneys didn't even want it to be included in front of the jurors in the testimony. They argue that there's no evidence that proves that Sean Combs was behind the break-in in the house or the car incident. Those investigations have led to nothing. They haven't led back to Sean Combs.
When were attorneys arguing this? Right
before the testimony.
Before Cudi walked in.
So before and after, and I think it's still a point of contention.
Oh.
Yeah, they're like still trying to file a motion to get it struck from the record. Now, Sean Combs they're saying there's nothing to prove that he was behind any of this. So that essentially, they don't want Kid Cudi to say out loud to the jurors on the stand that he met up with Sean Combs at Soho House a few days later after his car was set on fire because he thought Sean Combs did it. The prosecutors are arguing, well, that's what Kid Cudi thought. He's not saying, oh, I know he did it, or I was told he did it, or he did it 100%. He's saying, I went to this meeting with Sean Combs because I thought he did it. That was my thought, my brain. This whole debate between the attorneys is Very intense. I mean, the judge is trying to clarify. Like, how would you explain why he was going to the meeting in the first place? Like, he's asking the defense attorneys, how do you connect the dots without explaining what the reason was to have the meeting? Like, he's saying that's the connecting piece. The jurors are going to be like, okay, that's so random. Like, why are you suddenly going to a meeting with Sean Combs then? A few days after your car explosion. The defense attorney is like, how would you explain why he was doing the meeting in the first place? How do you connect the dots without, I mean, yeah, even though he had nothing to do with it. I mean, just leave it at that. Brian Steele is like, just leave it at that. The car blew up, and then he goes to a meeting with Sean Combs. And the judge is confused. The judge says, is he just like a person who could figure it out, like sleuth it out? He's like, is he like a little detective?
Like Sean Combs?
Yeah, like why
detective?
is he meeting with Sean Combs after his car blew up?
Yeah.
Because it's not like they're friends and the whole press, they're giggling because again, like the logic is not logically and it's just becoming silly.
Yeah.
So it is in the testimony. It was said in front of the jurors. But after Kid Cudi's testimony, which we're going to get into the cross, there has been a lot of social media discourse. And a few that I find very interesting and very notable are the comments made by Young Thug, famously one of Brian Steele's clients. He goes onto Twitter same day, very quickly tweets and then deletes, "Damn, Cudi a rat, LOL." He very instantly deletes that tweet because likely that started a whole conversation, a pretty heated debate about Young Thug's own case, which, side note, there is no evidence at all that he cooperated with prosecutors, but he did take a plea deal. So some people are saying all people who take a plea deal are snitches. Others are arguing that the only reason that Young Thug got away with his case, quote, got away, is because it wasn't handled by the feds, but rather the state. So they were like, please shut up while you're lucky. That's what the netizens are saying. I'm not saying any of that. I have said nothing. Others are debating what qualifies as a rat. Some argue, well, no, because Kid Cudi only called the police later, and then he never told the police Sean Combs did it. So he's not a rat.
Right, okay.
But then some people are saying, well, the fact that he's testifying right now is a rat. And then others are arguing, yeah, well, this is exactly what we mean by Sean Combs was protected by the industry for decades, because the minute that someone speaks out from the industry, you're like, you're a rat.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Another musician that has spoken out against Kid Cudi is Kanye West, which, I mean, I have not really been following all of the atrocious things that have been going on in Kanye's life and the things that he's been saying, but there are lots of connections here. Mainly Kanye West's rather unhinged, outspoken support of Sean Combs. If you guys do want us to do a deep dive on it, we can try to do one. Kanye even recorded a phone call that he had with Sean Combs while Sean was in jail, and basically Sean is telling him, quote, "It's wicked, wicked, wicked. When I get out there, I want to see you fucking tear down the stadiums. I need to see you back on that stage. I be dreaming of that. We're going to have years and decades to fight these motherfuckers. I'm going to see you soon, man. I got like 59 more days before trial." This is 2 months before trial.
Wow.
So I'll definitely be touching in to tap into your energy or something. Give me some fucking life. This shit is fucking sad. Puff Daddy in jail. Fucking sad as a motherfucker. The devil is a liar.
You know what I'm saying? It's wicked, wicked, wicked. So you be careful. We're going to have years and decades to fight these motherfuckers. This shit is sad. Puff Daddy in jail. This shit is fucking sad. The devil is a liar.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
And Kanye posted that phone call?
Yeah, and it does not seem like Sean Combs knew that he was being recorded.
Yeah.
Now, Kanye has since tweeted and deleted, quote, "I wish Cudi hadn't testified against Puff. We need not to be locked in white systems. Praying for Puff and his family, praying for Puff Daddy and the family."
Wow. So Kanye really supports Diddy.
Yeah. Side note, Kanye and Kid Cudi, they were actually closely allied.
Oh.
Now, I feel like people who are a lot more musically inclined than I am can probably provide a lot more insight, but from what we could tell, Kanye and Kid Cudi have had a very interesting relationship. Kid Cudi was briefly signed under Kanye's music label, which is not so obviously labeled the good music label, and Kanye even went on to call Kid Cudi, quote, "the most influential artist of the past 10 years. But then randomly, Cudi announces that he's leaving Good Music. Ultimately, it does seem somewhat cordial. Cudi explains, Kanye and I were talking to each other on the phone, and you know, these are things that I've been wanting to talk to him about, me starting my own direction, and he got it because, you know, he's trying to start his new path and try new things as an artist, and he was just like, man, I feel you as an artist, it's cool, whatever. This is just from a business standpoint, there's no beef, there's no problems with anybody on the label, it's all love. But the two end up having a very contentious falling out because Kim Kardashian, Kanye West divorce. Kim Kardashian starts dating Pete Davidson. Kid Cudi remains close friends with Pete Davidson because he was already friends with him. He does not cut Pete Davidson out of his life, and Kanye is upset, to which Kid Cudi even addresses Kanye publicly, saying, "I'm not one of your kids, I'm not Kim. It doesn't matter if I'm friends with Pete or not friends with Pete. None of this shit had anything to do with me. If you can't be a grown man and deal with the fact that you lost your woman, like, what do you want me to do? That's not my fucking problem. You need to own up to your shit like every man in this life has. I've lost women too, and I've had to own up to it. I don't need that in my life. I don't need it." Because at this point, Kanye was doing his thing where he's like tweeting and Instagram storying, like, just bullshit, right? Now, another focus is a lot of netizens.
I didn't know all of that happened. Is Kim still dating Pete? There's so much celebrity drama.
I think they're engaged. Hold on.
Engaged? Oh, okay. Blue said no. Are we looking it up?
I am.
Okay.
Oh, I lied. They are not engaged. She is rumored to be dating a non-celebrity individual.
She used to date. I see. Pete is low-key a hoe. Okay.
She is
Note him.
100% a hoe.
Pete.
Anyways. Oh, Pete is too, though. I'm sorry.
Anyways. Susan, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Welcome into the stream. They all host in this industry. Facts. Okay.
Have been using Kid Cudi's cross-examination to start a new round of discourse about whether or not Cassie is a victim. I think that discourse is likely kicked off by Brian Steele's cross-examination. I do think that when it comes to cross-examinations, originally, I mean, I do think that regardless of like if one thinks certain elements and like twisting of the words, because I do think that cross-examinations are all twisting the witness's words, and it's unfair, and every witness walks away like, what the hell was that, probably, right? But I think in the act itself, I think Nicole Westmoreland really sells her cross well. Mark Agnifilo, he will do the longest crosses in the history of what feels like forever, and at every time that he says one more thing, and we'll get to that later, you just hear at least like 3 people in the courtroom sigh. I feel like one of them's the judge, one of them's the juror, one of them is in the press, and then probably everybody else, because it's like, I don't know why he's a filibusterer. And then Brian Steele, his crosses have been like not.
When? What? Blue. Huh?
Tab out. I understood Pete. What?
I'm just waiting for you to type. Uh-huh. No, I didn't know that. She said it in an interview or a song. She's just out here talking about his white chocolate is so wild, bro. Going back to this. Oh, bro. Okay.
Like, they've been okay. He has a showman's stature, like the way he stands, the things he does. But when it comes to, especially this cross-examination, he's just like to the point. He's just trying to get somewhere. Like, he's trying to get to the destination. So he goes up there, and he's got this manila folder filled with Post-it notes.
That's about him? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
And he's got this very clean-cut, authoritative seriousness about him. And he starts off, I want to ask you some questions about your Porsche, okay? Yes. So if you remember, it's January of 2022. Does that sound right? Kid Cudi is like 2012, which is an honest mistake, right? But it's very interesting because I'm like, did he do this on purpose? Brian Steele looks directly up at Kid Cudi, almost in a way where I feel like I would have been thrown off. And he goes, what'd I say? You said 2022. I apologize, 2012. Like, I don't know if saying the wrong year was intentional, likely not, but like his confrontation right from the get-go, I think would have thrown me off. Like, what
They
I
must
said,
be
it was,
tired.
like, very intense. I remember being like, what'd I say? And it was kind of in like a southern accent, but it didn't come off hostile. It came off like very authoritative. It was just like, what'd I say? Answer the question. Oh, okay, my bad. So it was just a little weird. I don't think Kid Cudi was thrown off, but if it were me, I think I would have been. It just feels intense. Now, the main focus of the cross-examination is that there's no witness putting Sean Combs or any of his associates near Kid Cudi's house or car the day that his car was lit on fire. And, quote, you and Ms. Ventura had been talking every day for about a year. Is that true? For the most part. And that's why it was surprising to you, or I think your word today before the honorable court and the jury, you were confused, very confused, to hear that she was dating Sean Combs while dating you, right? Basically trying to tell the jurors that Cassie is cheating. Kid Cudi responds, yes. Ms. Ventura was not frank with you, true? True. She played you. Those are your words, right? Yes. When she played you, she was convincing about that, right? You had no clue. No clue. You were with her a lot, right? Uh-huh. True? Yes. He also points out that Combs was the one that actually asked Kid Cudi to help Cassie with her music, basically portraying Sean Combs was cheated on by Cassie after he tried to help her by introducing her to Kid Cudi, who is objectively a much larger musician than she is. It seems like that's the point that they're trying to make during the cross. When Sean Combs was with you at one event after one of your concerts in 2011, he actually asked you if you would do him a favor and do a song with Ms. Ventura. Is that true? Do you remember that? Vaguely, yeah. You graciously agreed, right? Right. You were in a studio doing your art with Ms. Ventura. Is that true? Yes. And that's how you guys really became close, right? We were cool before. And this didn't hurt your relationship, right? It was nice. You enjoyed the time with her, true? Yeah, it was. We were truly just friends at the time. Mr. Combs wasn't around you and Miss Ventura when you were with her, right? No. You two were locked in. You two were focused on each other. You had a great relationship is my point. Is that true? Yes. And you did things like you exercised together, right?
What?
Exercise together? Kid Cudi looks genuinely confused. Like, it was so random. I have a sneaking suspicion that the defense is trying to draw insinuations for the jurors that exercising as a couple, you think of more inappropriate things because it was so random. But later with Capricorn Clark, it kind of makes a little bit more sense. Just keep it in mind. But it was so weird. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, you went hiking together. No, I don't remember going hiking. Now, a few more questions are asked, and we're going to get to this later. A sidebar is called, and there's so many sidebars during this entire testimony. And each time, Sean Combs is fully bent to the left, like 90-degree angle, like at his hip. He looks like he's about to snap in half because there are live notes on the sidebars as well. Because the sidebars are included in the transcript unless they're sealed, which means that they have these monitors. Oh. They have these giant monitors on all of the court tables for the defense, the government, like the people that work in the court, and you can see every spoken word in real time. It's like a live feed of all the words. A lot of the attorneys, they will just stare at the screen during a witness testimony because they're mainly like reading the words that are being said. Now, he's just reading the live feed in front of Brian's seat, which is on the left of him. Brian's in the little sidebar. I mean, he hasn't been this intense since Cassie's testimony. He's like breaking his back to read the live feed of the sidebars. When the attorneys get back from the sidebar, Kid Cudi is the first to talk. Oh, which side note, before they come back, there is this one moment where Combs does this thing where he looks in the general direction of the jurors, okay? He lifts his shoulders up, brings them back down like a big sigh, like, and he starts shaking his head. Like, can you believe this? Can you guys believe what's going on, right? Like, that was the vibe we got. It was very, like, a little theatrical. Kind of like, that's the vibe. They get back from the sidebar, and Kid Cudi is saying, Mr. Steele, I just want to, the judge stops him. You can't say anything. Mr. Steele is going to ask you a question, and you can answer. I just want to clarify something from earlier. You're going to have a chance on redirect. Okay, cool. Brian Steele asks Kid Cudi, though, do you want to clarify something? Yeah, I don't think the date was 2011 when Sean Combs asked me to do a song with Cassie. I think it was 2010. Thank you. Now, by the time of December 22nd of 2011, that's when your house, remember when you talked to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about the break-in? Yes. I want to talk to you about some of that, okay? You believe that you left your front door open. When I say open, I mean unlocked. Is that fair to say? Yes. And there was no forced entry into your home, true? No. Am I correct? Yes. And in the home, there was no damage to the home. By damage, I mean there was no chairs turned over, glass broken, holes in the wall, things like that, true? No. The only thing, I'm not belittling it, but the only things that were displayed differently is that there were some Christmas presents that were unwrapped, right? Yes. And your dog was behind the door. Right. Locked in the bathroom, basically. Yeah. And no other disturbances there, right? No. Brian Steele brings up that after the break-in, Kid Cudi calls Combs and he's calm. And Mr. Combs, he's calm, right? You call him? Yes. He didn't curse at you, did he? No. He didn't threaten you, right? No. He just said, we need to talk, basically, right? Yeah. Later, after you got home, you called Mr. Combs again because he's not at your house, right? Right. And he answers the phone, true? Yes. Again, he's calm. Yes. And he tells you, I'm coming to your house, something to that effect, right? Yeah. There's no mention of a firearm, right? No. No one threatened you with a firearm, right? No. You came to meet him and you had no belief that he had a firearm. No one. Miss Capricorn Clark didn't tell you that, right? At that point, I really didn't know. Maybe he would. I couldn't call it. Let's do it this way. Miss Capricorn Clark didn't tell you that, right? You know, no, but I took it. She didn't tell you that he was armed with a firearm, right? No. If it's not true, just say it's not true. You were in love with Miss Ventura, right?
Wait, so he's asked like 20 questions about how this wasn't a scary situation, correct?
Yeah, he's basically like, not to belittle it, but like, why are you scared? Also, how do you know it's Mr. Combs? He was calm.
Like, are we all dumb? I want him to go home, walk home one day, opens his door, and all his gift is open, and his dog is locked, and that's it.
But I feel like sometimes that's creepier.
That's creepy, exactly. Yeah. That's absolutely worse because now you don't know what else happened. If someone just steals some stuff, remember the question we were talking about back in the days? What would someone do in your house?
Oh, yes.
If someone can just do one thing in your house that will keep you up at night, what would that be? Someone will be like, I would just move the couch to the other side. That will keep you up at night.
Because you didn't steal anything, you didn't break anything. What was the motive?
Yes.
What does this couch mean? What does unopening the Christmas presents mean?
Yes. Like, it's so much.
Oh, we should have that conversation, chat. We should do that.
Yeah.
That's like 10 times more scary.
Like, okay, at the end of this, remind me what we're gonna talk about that. What? Nah. Do we want to talk about that?
I don't know. Right now, before we
See, I feel like if we talk about it, it'll just tell people exactly what to do to make you feel very uncomfortable in your house if they ever
Well,
go to it.
it doesn't take a whole lot to make people feel uncomfortable. Let's be real honest.
Okay, so if someone was to do one thing in your house that would just make you be unable to sleep at night, what would it be?
Okay, you can't ask me that question because people coming over is just weird. So.
Pumpkin.
Listen, I'm very antisocial. I try to keep to myself as much as I can. So second someone comes over, oh my god, if they enter the fucking house and there's already like stiff fucking like atmosphere of tension and like I'm pissed off, don't fucking look at me, don't fucking talk to me kind of energy going on. Get out. I don't want you here. If you're gonna be in this kind of vibe, this kind of era, get out.
Jeez. I'm trying to think. Because I feel like if you move anything in the rest of my house, I probably wouldn't notice.
I have too much shit. I definitely wouldn't notice.
But if you move something in my room, oh, yeah, no. I'd be like, why are you touching my shit?
Why
More
are you
so.
in my room?
Exactly. Let's just say.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I would say like a backpack, or maybe like a painting or something.
I guess the next question I would have is if it's someone like I know or if it's like a friend's friend.
And I just think it's just it's moved. You come home one day, you realize it's moved, and you're like, okay, what the fuck?
Oh, well then I'd be pissed off at my apartment people. I'm gonna be real honest.
Yeah,
because
that's
they
why
like
I
to come
said.
in here and fucking touch shit, and it pisses me off all the time.
Bro, what? No.
Yeah.
I feel like me not wanting to, like, me not noticing the rest of the house is because there's like a lot of people that pass through that part, so I wouldn't know if it is
I guess.
like them or like a random person. But nobody comes into my room. So if anything is moved in my room, it's like, who is touching my room? And why? Why are you touching it? And like a backpack could make sense, like maybe they went through the backpack, but then if it goes into like something deeper, like moving a mirror or a painting, now I'm like wondering, like, what are you putting behind it? You know,
Yeah.
what did you do to it? Like, why'd you touch it? I already had my landlord coming to our apartment when we weren't there, and she just grabbed a chair. What? What?
Yeah.
She just
Yeah.
grabbed a chair and what, moved it or what, took it? She recanted a wild stalker experience on a podcast. Oh.
Oh, like forever ago. I don't know unless she rekindled that, but she's talked about that like ages ago. Unless I'm crazy, which wouldn't surprise me.
That's crazy. One of our chairs I saw in her apartment a few days after. Just stealing one of your chairs is so insane to me.
That's
actually
wild.
so insane to me. Not her giggling. Okay. Anyways, let's finish up this video. It's almost done.
But-
what is so hard to understand about that?
Brian Steele is like, no, this is nothing, okay? And you were in love with Miss Ventura, right? Yeah. And she never told you, as close as you were with her, that there was any type of sexual abuse. Is that true? No. You spent time with her freely, right? Right. And Miss Ventura was free with you. She was carefree, as far as you can tell. True? Yeah.
That sounds
Then
good.
Brian Steele brings up the Soho House meeting where Combs is standing there like a
Hello,
Marvel
kid.
supervillain,
How are you?
And Brian
Thank you.
Steele
Thank
says,
you.
now, Mr. Combs made it clear to you that he was also confused. True? True. Just like you, he's similarly situated. He did not, to your knowledge, know that you were dating Miss Ventura, right? Yeah, true. And he wants to understand how did this happen, and you want to understand how did this happen, basically, right? Yes. And Miss Ventura was living 2 different lives, is that true? Yes. He definitely didn't threaten you, true? No. In fact, he was gracious. I think your word was really calm. Yeah. And you were professional as well, true? Yes. And it was an understanding, a meeting that this was about a girl, a relationship, and both of you guys were played. That's pretty much how it ended, true? True. And the person who played you is the same person who played Sean. It's Miss Ventura, true? True. Which is a crazy question to ask, but it was answered. The worst moment, though, of the cross-examination is Brian Steele asks if Kid Cudi and Cassie Ventura were sexually intimate during their romance. Kid Cudi looks taken aback on the stand. He looks confused. He doesn't respond. But before he can even get a chance to respond, there is a very swift, very intense objection, because Brian Steele is not allowed to ask that question. There is a very passionate sidebar. Brian Steele tries to defend his questions. I believe that it was discussed on direct, and I'm exploring their relationship. What is there to explore? What's the relevance of the question? That they were intimate. Prosecutor Johnson is not having it. I'm watching them in the sidebar. I've never seen her this animated in my entire life. She looks so passionate. She's going in that sidebar, and I know she's fighting, okay? I mean, she's normally has a very calm, outwardly demeanor. She is, like, fired up. Your Honor, that is a direct violation of Rule 412. So basically, that is the rape shield law. There's 2 parts to it. First, Rule 412, it prohibits evidence that proves a victim in a case was engaged in any other intimate behavior. AKA, you can't be like, hey, you're accusing this person of SA? Well, guess what? Let me pull up every time that you've ever done anything sexual with anybody else in your life. Let me pull up a whole history, a catalog. It's because it's just shame. It makes the jurors feel like perhaps if she did all those things, maybe she did this thing too. And that's crazy. Second, it bars evidence to prove a victim's predisposition to certain intimate relationships, meaning their general attitude towards intimacy, their desires, their inclinations. AKA, you can't be like, well, you're always going to bars and doing one-night stands with strangers, so maybe you did that with my client. Like, you can't do those things. It's basically to make sure that the victims are not on trial, that they're not dragged through the mud and shamed to hell and back, because, I mean, I think even with this rule, SA trials, I mean, even this trial, even with the rule in place, a lot of trials become about victims' morality more than the actual SA charge itself.
That is so interesting that there is such a law.
The only reason that we know so much about the freak-offs and even text messages and all of the intimate relations that Cassie and Sean Combs have had is when it comes to the defendant, it's usually admissible because you know
we have to
or you know the male escorts, because it's all part of the sex trafficking. It's related to that. But anything outside of that should not be. Prosecutor Johnson argues that this is a direct violation of Rule 412, which the judge agrees. And the judge asks Brian Steele, what other relevance to this does any of this line of questioning have? Like, what does it matter? All right, I note the objection. No, I'm asking you a question. What is the answer?
Judge?
Yeah. I think it matters that there has been testimony from Ms. Ventura that she is being suffocated. These are my words by Mr. Combs, and she is spending all her time doing unconsensual sex, yet she is having intimate relations with this gentleman, and it's all calm and consensual. That's really where I'm going. The judge states if that's the relevance, then the objection is sustained, aka don't ask these questions.
Yeah, that's exactly the reason why this law exists.
Exactly. Now, the thing is, Brian Steele likely knew that he's breaking the rule, and he did it on purpose because
what's said cannot be unheard.
Unring the bell. You can tell the jurors, strike that from the record. Jurors, disregard that question. But it's already been said. They've already seen Kid Cudi's kind of confused, taken aback response, and it's already, it's in their head now.
Yeah, which also
annoying.
So what?
Fucking
what
slimy, bro.
What does that even change?
So right? Slimy.
Well, I thought, okay, I don't know if this is me, because I was talking about it with my researchers, and they were like, we were all thinking maybe it's a good thing because she didn't do freak-offs with Kid Cudi. So, like, if anything, it shows, like, there is a difference in the pattern in which she might choose to have intimate relations, which is not the way that it is done in the freak-offs. You know, so I guess there was, like, that point, but then people, you know, it's, like, it's so back and forth of, like, does this hurt the case? Does this kind of help the case? We don't know. I guess it really depends on each of the jurors. Now, after Scott Muscati is off the stand, I have never seen, I mean, that's the majority of
also,
the direct.
That's his real name.
Yes, Scott Muscati, and he is off the stand. I have never seen Judge Arun this mad during the entirety of the trial. He is pretty infuriated. The jurors are no longer in the courtroom, and Maureen Comey brings up the 412 issue. Prosecutor Comey says, all of us at the government table were frankly shocked at counsel asking the question that he asked about sexual activity with another person. I do not think Your Honor's ruling from the bench could have been clearer about the bounds of Rule 412. Apparently, we need to make them even clearer. The rule itself is crystal clear that any evidence of any victim's sexual activity outside of the charged conduct must be noticed, and the victim must have a right to be heard, and the victim must have a right to be heard in a sealed proceeding. It is frankly outrageous that this question was asked in open court without notice to us, notice to the court, or notice to the victim. And so I would ask that the boundaries be made crystal clear from this point on, that that question should not even be asked without raising the issue in the first instance. Well, I agree with you on that, the judge says. 1, the line was crystal clear. And 2, that line was crossed. Mr. Steele, I mean, you knew what you were doing when you did it, and you still did it anyway, and that is unacceptable. If there's any application for further relief, I'll hear it from the government. In this instance, we should not have to run into this issue, and that first question was out of bounds. So is it going to happen again? Brian Steele stands up. No. The prosecutor Comey states, our only request is that the question and answer be struck from the record. Otherwise, at this time, we are not asking for further relief, but we do want to make it very clear that any questions like that are totally out of bounds.
So there's no like consequences for damage is done and that's it, right? Well, there's nothing. They say just tell him don't do that. Are you gonna do that? No, you're not. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if the government could, because he was saying further applications from the government. He's open to hearing it, but I don't think this is a situation where I don't know what the government.
Can we just like get rid of him,
I don't
bro?
know if they want to do that.
That is crazy. So
remove from the case.
You knew what you were doing.
And the way he was saying it was firm. Like everyone in the courtroom was, like we were scared.
That is a strategy that they're doing, which is dirty. You're literally crossing lines.
Oh, it's been kind of dirty in the sense of there was a makeup artist that testified, and like a lot of these testimonies, a lot of them kind of go over the same things that we've already gone over, and I'm gonna try to group them in ways that make sense. And I just didn't feel like this was as pertinent as some of the other testimonies. But Mila Morales, she is a makeup artist for Cassie who testified and said that she saw bruising on Cassie while she was doing her makeup. What's crazy is the defense tried to admit pictures of Cassie, like half-naked photos for album covers, because Mila Morales did her makeup in it. So they're like, yeah, we want to show this to the jurors to be like, oh yeah, this is the makeup that Mila Morales did. But she's like topless because it's an album cover and it's Hollywood. And the prosecutors are like, are you insane? Why do you need, like, you can just crop her face out and say she did the makeup. And the defense were just like, well, this is like literally just part of the work.
So that was another whole, was it another situation with was judge involved?
Yeah, so the judge was and they're like taking away pictures. Like some pictures were admitted that were not super sexual and like topless and stuff.
But did they put all the picture up for the jurors?
No, they were debating it without the jurors present.
They tried to put it on there.
They tried to put it on, and the government object to a bunch of them because they're like, she's literally topless in one of them.
Wow.
And you're trying to say, oh, I'm just showing this to the jury to show them that this is the makeup look that the witness did on Cassie. It was just, I think like even in the courtroom when the defense were trying to argue their points, it was like, you could just feel a lot of people wincing because it's like, we know what you're trying to do.
And that's interesting because like you would think the court is about justice and the truth.
That's
Meanwhile,
so fucking crazy.
A lot of it is
honestly.
subconscious. You're trying to say, hey, look at this woman dressed this way. Therefore, it has nothing to do with the case.
It was kind of dirty. Especially the pictures, I think it was kind of, a lot of people felt ick about it.
Yeah.
Now, side note, speaking of Brian Steele's kind of wild move for a mistrial comment in the sidebar, a lot of netizens were saying that Brian Steele just snitched on Diddy. Sean Combs killed people and the defense team just admitted it because he was like, I know what Kid Cudi's gonna say. The government knows that Kid Cudi's gonna say Sean Combs killed people. Now, I will say there's a tad bit more to the transcripts. Basically in the sidebar, Brian Steele explains that, quote, he called his friend. Kid Cudi called his friend. This is what's in the 3500. I'm going to tell you what that is in a second. I know the court read it. He calls his friends who told him that Mr. Combs has had other people killed. I believe that's going to be his answer on why he was scared. Now, side note, the 3500. So right now, it's the government's case in chief. All of the witnesses are subpoenaed by the government or they are government witnesses, like willingly coming to testify. It's the government being like, here is what we think happened, and we're going to prove it to you for the next 6 weeks. We're going to bring people to testify for the next 6 weeks. And every single person, they can cross-examine, but you're going to, like, these are the people that we are bringing to plead our case, like case in chief, okay? If someone is a government witness, like Kid Cudi, Cassie, Don Richards, all those meetings that the witness and the government have had prior to the trial, they are not available for discovery by the defense until after the direct testimony. So a lot of the times, the defense attorneys will get all of those government notes while the cross-examination is happening. So like some attorneys will be reading through the 3500 documents while someone's doing the cross.
That's a lot of fucking documents, not gonna lie.
I don't think,
holy shit.
I know some people were like, that's why Xavier Donaldson seemed like he was stalling for time. That wasn't the vibe because the next day was the same thing. So that means they would have had the 35 documents all night, came back the next day, and then he was still doing like his correct thing.
Mhm.
But I know that was like a speculation, and I do think that happens sometimes. Now, obviously, there are witnesses that they're going to be better prepared for. So I think like Cassie Ventura was probably one of them because they knew that she was going to testify. She was one of the bigger witnesses in the case, so they must have had a load of questions for her for the cross-examination. But a lot of the times, they just get the documents of whatever government meeting that they had during the cross-examination.
I see.
Yeah,
That's
so
called 3,500.
yes, I mean it's not like 3,500 pieces of documentation. It's just called
Okay.
this is like the rule. And he's saying you saw it in there. He called his friend. Like he probably told the government in a government meeting prior to the testimony. I called my friend and they said he's had people killed.
Right.
So then they just got those notes. And then he's like, God, I'm freaking out. Like he's gonna say this and the government knows he's gonna say this because it's in the government notes. He's already said this to the government before. Now, it has been kind of taken out of context where everywhere I see on social media, they're like, did Brian Steele just snitch on his own client? But that's the rest of the context for you.
Okay.
Of like, it wasn't Brian Steele being like, he had people killed. It was like, I just saw the 3,500. You probably just saw the like, I think a lot of it was probably like he saw it and started panicking.
Yep.
Not that I'm giving anybody an excuse after the question that he asked, but I think it was like that. So he's saying he knows that Kid Cudi called a friend, and he's not actually admitting that his client killed someone or anything of that sort. Nevertheless, I will say it was very startling to read in the transcript. But with that, I think this is the perfect place to leave you because the very next episode, which will hopefully be up in the next day or two, is going to be on the full testimony of Capricorn Clark. She is the one that showed up at Kid Cudi's house during the break-in. She's the one that called them from the car. She is the one that has accused Sean Combs of kidnapping. It was one of the more insane direct and cross-examinations in the sense that I think, you know, we have a lot of people that are testifying. They have been in contentious legal battles. They have, or, you know, even like Cassie and Don Richard, they've been in the public eye for so long. And I think that they have so many scars as well. They choose to, I think, have a different way that they cope with it. And when they testify, it presents differently. With Capricorn Clark, I don't think I've ever met someone who has no filter, is the feeling. And not that I personally know her, but it was like the most unfiltered testimony in the entire trial. And it seemed like a lot of people were emotionally moved by her testimony. So there's a lot going on.
No emotions. No emotions, chat. Dang. Alrighty. How we feeling, chat? How we feeling? That's...
Fucking slimy.
I'm irritated because there's like nothing you can do
No.
about something that's already been said. I really don't like the way that his attorneys are moving, and it's like you can't really do anything about it. It might be like one of the many reasons why the justice system is just fucked.
Yeah.
Yes, it was definitely more digestible than previous episodes, for sure. If another Diddy video comes out before Monday, we'll watch it on Sunday. I will do a short stream, we'll watch it, and then I'll be off for the day. But,
Let's see.
yeah. If not, you guys are gonna have to either watch it on your own or wait to watch it until later on in the week, because there's a lot of things that I need to get done in preparation for this Elden Ring marathon. So
I'm just so excited.
No.
So excited.
No. But I think I am gonna make it a what is the other one? An 84-hour Elden Ring marathon? Maybe 96-hour.
Oh, you want to do a marathon?
Yeah. It's gonna be until I beat the so my plan is to do it until I beat the DLC. And then that's it. Gonna have to talk to you, Blue, so keep an eye on your messages. And we're gonna go through figuring out all the details, but I need to get that all planned out, so I'll probably do that tomorrow before I get on stream. What sucks is I actually like Brian Steele. Right now, though, he seems like an ass. No, 1,000%. I think he has a good way of being an attorney, but I also think that he will make anything happen, which is awful. It's awful in this case, I guess. So, I don't know. I always have an eye on my messages. Okay, noted. I'm gonna message you at like 4 o'clock in the morning, like, okay, so this and this and this and this and this is gonna happen. Oh, speaking of, I'm gonna message my mom and see. Because it all really relies on her.
With that being done, I'm gonna head to bed. Because it's actually cool enough that I can sleep before 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, that's good.
So I will talk to you in the tomorrow.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye, Pumpkin.
Okay, love your face. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. So... kind of along the lines of like the style game that I'm currently playing. Yeah, so I was actually playing Expedition 33 yesterday. I need to play more of it, but I also just bought Night Rain so I can play Night Rain since that was supposed to come out yesterday. So I don't know if I'll actually play Night Rain. I don't know. I don't know if I'll actually play it tonight, but I want to look at it. I want to see it because I haven't looked into any of Night Rain. I do want to finish the DLC for Elden Ring, the last one. What is it called? I don't know. I don't remember what it's called. But I do want to finish that one, and then I do want to finish Expedition 33 because I like the story mode for that one. It's nice. Flash bang me, please. Holy crap. Thank you. Oh yes, black out all my monitors. It's what I always wished for. Yep. Yep. Yep, that's... You're doing great. Okay. Okay. I feel like instead of tomorrow spending all this time fucking with this game, I can just do it now. Although it's very unproportionate. I just want to adjust my settings. Sure. Okay. Let me get my settings adjusted. Yep. Okay. So this. Oh wait. Hello? Oh. No. Okay. Nope. It's fine. It's fine. We're just gonna... What is happening? Okay. Let's go to window. Oh my god. Never played Elden Ring, but really want to. I heard it's not new player friendly. No, I mean, people are right. Yeah, I'm psycho, though. I'm a masochist, so I like pain, and I put myself through the pain and torture of this game on my first playthrough of any fighter game. And to be honest, I loved every second of it. It was really nice. I just want to tab out of this game and it won't like let me uh it won't let me, oh thank you. Holy fuck. It won't let me move my fucking cursor. I'm losing it. Ooh, okay, so now we gotta adjust all of this. Quality settings, medium, and event settings. I'm just doing a medium. I think it'll be fine. I do want to turn this off. Do want I don't know if I really need all of this. But on this one, please don't do that. Keyboard and mouse settings. You don't need that. I don't like this on. How do I turn this off? Save will last open menu tab. On. On. Device for on-screen prompts. Sure. Okay, cool. Any advice for new players for Elden Ring? Oh, okay, so Elden Ring is very tough to play. So if you don't have like the patience for it, I would highly suggest not playing this game. Have I played Oblivion? No, I have not played Oblivion. I am a first-person shooter going into variety gaming gamer. If that makes sense. So a lot of the games that I play are like shooter games, and I've recently started venturing out into newer games. So a lot of like older games and stuff I've never played. Usually or ever only played like Black Ops, Black Ops 2, Halo, Halo Reach, mainly. Those are like old times, but like it carried over. So I played like Apex for 5 years until I dropped it. I went to Marvel Rivals. I do play a bit of Fragpunk. I also like survival games like Ark Survival. I'd play Minecraft if people played Minecraft with me. I do have Repo. I want to get into Grand Theft Auto. So like I just play a lot of games. But I'm like new to them all, so like I'm just getting into it. Don't get up even when you're getting your ass whooped. Learn timing and the weapon you're using. Yes, so there's when you do Elden Ring, look up like the Elden Ring wiki page. They usually tell you what each like thing does and like how it's good together with like other armor or talismans, etc. So it's very important to like do your research on the game. You can just play blind if you want to and like just read the stats within the game, but if you don't understand it, which I didn't understand it, I'd 1000% recommend checking out the wiki page. If you're going into a fight doing the same thing over and over again, expect to die. So if you are going to fight these bosses, try something else. Figure out what you're failing on to actually defeat it. Otherwise, you're just gonna die, you're gonna rage, you're gonna break a controller or a keyboard, and then it's just gonna be done. It's gonna be done for you. I wouldn't suggest it. I'm so nervous about playing this. This is supposed to be. Do we try this right now? Like, do we do we just play your name? Jazz. Jazz. Just Jazz. It's just Jazz. Okay. Yes, I am. Okay, we're here. I'm here. I'm in it. We're playing it. I wasn't going to play it. I wasn't going to. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, stop. Wait, I'm so nervous now. Oh goodness. Stress and depression. Stop it. Oh my goodness, no. Oh. Oh, it's so like in my ear. It's like super 4K, man. Not gonna lie, it kind of looked like a little armadillo. A therapist for this game? Stop. No way he hired a therapist for this game. Are you talking about when he did his like 92-hour marathon or whatever? Oh goodness. Okay. Are you talking about that marathon or whatever when he 94 hours or whatever it was? Oh, we're back here. Where's our friends? Is this the place? Oh. Oh. Hold EL to dash. Every area has a number of key locations. Key locations may be protected by enemies or traps, but they often house equipment and runes. Okay, sure. I've seen him lose to many times to one boss. I just felt bad after a while, but it's still hilarious. Fuck, I love that. I think. I mean, I feel like this is good. Did it say I can loot stuff? Like, am I looting over here? I don't even know where the fuck I'm going. Okay, we're going. We're going somewhere. Oh, I can jump? I mean, sure. How do I use my how do I use my flask? I uh-huh. Yeah. How to X to use flask. Okay. Noted. After jumping, jump again while facing a wall to perform a wall jump. Use in a designated direction. Oh, okay. Sure. Oh. Okay. Yo. That's what's up. Okay. Are we looting these things, or like, is this like not an option? No? Okay, well, you know what? Okay, up we go. Tunnel vision. Armaments have special abilities called skills. Skills are highly varied, include anything from powerful attacks, parries, which intercept enemies' moves, and even the application of temporary effects while using skills. Skills are left trigger. Oh. I don't know if I did that right. Oh. I may have done that right. Not gonna lie. Character skills are special abilities unique to each player. Each character executes their skill, a special action that can only be repeated after a period of cooldown. Is a claw slot, shot, attack, launch grappling claw to rope in foes, or move swiftly by retracting. Why a left trigger? Was there an area down here that I can loot? There was. Passive effects are active while an item is in one's possession. Use equipment need to check equipment in one's possession. And A to switch and X to discard. Uh, oh. Oh. Okay. Oh, it's a grace. Oh. I can level up. Okay. So we can level up now. That's kind of cool. Wait, how do I do that? I just spend my points and level up automatically. Okay, cool. What is all this? Oh. You can affix your own pins to the map as well. You can stack your own pins on top of each other. Hold R while allies pin centered and stack pin. Okay. I'm assuming this is where they want me to go. Okay, we're going. The character's HP is fully depleted. They will enter a near-death state. They'll be unable to perform any actions other than basic movement and do not have long to live. The near-death gauge appears when the character enters the state. Attacking will deplete the gauge and revive the ally. The near-death gauge is extended by each brush with death, but an extended near-death gauge shortens while the character remains alive. Passing through a site of grace will also reset the gauge to its original length. Oh, I have friend. I have friend, chat. I have friend. This doesn't look.
I have thee now.
Oh, no, the fuck you don't, boy.
Tell me.
Oh.
I have I will slaughter any and all who dare.
Help. Oh, help. 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 No, 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 help. Help. No, no. I'm crying. Oh no. What do I do? I just die? Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. Okay, what is happening? I just want to like fix my game. Yeah, I just want to change my game because this is gonna be very interesting. Ugh. Um. Okay. I'm already stressing for you. Are you kidding me? Do we even add a death counter to this? I have a death counter. I'm like scared. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. This is just the tutorial for what I'm noticing. Like, dang. Okay. Alrighty. I need happy music in this situation right now. Yes, I do. Okay, I lost the level. That's unfair. I will just say that it's unfair. But it's fine. Where is my friend? Is my friend still down? Where's my friend? Ain't no way I don't have a friend during all this.
Pluck, thou
Ow. No. No. No way. Ultimate art? What is that? Why? Okay. You gonna tell me that as I'm dying. Yep. 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 Chat, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm so scared right now. Cause this is awful. I can't. Maybe I need a more responsive controller. Maybe. This is terrible. My fingers hurt already. I'm so sad. Was that it? I'm just dead. Oh, okay. Noted. Mind you, I never finished the DLC.
Lands between were visited by a great war. The shattering, as it was known, destroyed order itself. Drawing forth in time an abomination. Thus fell upon us the night. Now heavy rains harry the region, threatening to wash away its very history. The Night Lord does not rest. As it ravages the lands between beyond recognition. But there are those who would fight back. The Nightfarers. Brought together by happenstance, their commonalities are but few. No shared station, era, or even purpose.
Jeez.
Yet together, they are bound by a will. The will to cross the endless night and fight on. Till every shred of their being is ground away. Alas, the curtain may be drawing to a close upon this world.
Oh, damn. Are they about to get rid of Elden Ring? Ain't no way.
You are awake.
Oh, yes I am.
I know not why, but once again it has happened. So be it. Condemned, I welcome you to the Round Table Hold.
Well, damn. We're back here, guys.
I am the priestess, the voice of your formless master. You were chosen for your potential to vanquish the night. The Night Lord is a living cataclysm, bent on laying waste to the very land that anchors us. Unless we bring its end, our world will be undone. And for this, I need your help.
Oh. Shrouded Round Table. I got an achievement. Cool. The Round Table Hold is a nexus for launching. This addition shows the lanes between. Use the Round Table Hold menu. I don't know what that means. Okay. That button. Cool.
This is a hidden refuge, a place where warriors gather. Rest assured, though it is in disrepair, you will be safe here. We even have a caretaker. He might strike you as odd, but he is worthy of trust. Speak to him, if you please.
Thank you for using that.
Speak as you wish.
What does our formless master have to say?
You will hear it often. Seekers of redemption. On the third night, this land will fall. Band together and prepare to claim the life of the Night Lord. That is all. Oh.
That's so crazy.
I have no means to fight. It might strike you as presumptuous, but I am in need of your help all the same.
Okay. And then what else?
Speak as you wish.
Yes. Okay.
Wait your return.
We just like repeat that. Another one bites dust. Oh, it was an eagle. I fucking knew it.
Towering the beast we face, stand your ground and raise your shield. Be patient. Your window of opportunity will come.
Wait, I just gained something. What did I gain?
I am always ready. I can't believe it. Facing off against the night itself.
All in.
Such is our fate. We must rise to the dark.
Another one. Oh, bro.
I am always ready. I've trained with halberds before. No expert by any means, but I can hold my own.
And then.
I've trained with halberds before.
Okay, so that's it. So one thing I've learned with Elden Ring is that you need to like go through all of the messages in order to be like fully finished with it. So keep that in mind for sure. I love how I keep drinking that shit. That item is a small jar guy. Okay, cool. So I don't have anything for that. So what about you?
Thou to converse?
Yes, I like to talk.
Put the night sky to rights.
You're so tiny.
Beauty once more. Wishest thou to I believe myself skilled in my craft.
Okay.
Wishest thou to converse? We must
Currently.
put the night sky to rights.
Okay, yeah. So I'm currently just kind of going through all of this stuff, so we don't have to do it tomorrow. This is already different from before. Like I had mentioned earlier, though, I did not beat the DLC, so I don't know if this is just part of the Night Rain or if this is a part of like what happened after the DLC was beat. So we will do the DLC marathon at some point, probably next week, but if not, maybe the week after or the weekend, next weekend. Okay.
Care for a drink?
Sure.
Night is nothing to be afraid of. It is only the setting of the sun.
I prefer night, so I get that.
Care for a drink? The best weapons are the ones that require unvarnished mind to swing.
I hope that's like an actual tip.
Fine beast we're facing this time. Well, take it as a challenge. Don't overthink it. Care for a drink? The best weapons are the ones that require unbonding.
Okay, cool. So we've talked to those three. There's typically like another section, right? Yes. Whoa, what's up here? Open journal. Oh, check progress of each character's journey using the journal. Okay. The fatigue of constant worrying has robed the night bars of selected memories. Reclaim lost memory fragments to restore past experiences to their journals. Persistence in battle will yield memory fragments, but at times one might require the help of someone at the round table. Holds. Cool. So, Wilder, Guardian, Iron Eye, Reader, Recluse, and Executor. I'm assuming these are like the people that we can play as. I'm still not fully understanding everything, so don't mind me as we are exploring. What the fuck? Oh, sparring grounds. Okay. Do we just go here? Cool. Sure, what are you, a dummy? Enemy. Chief of— oh! Oh, you just trying to stab me like that. That's crazy. Yeah. I'm just gonna die. It's fine. I'm a dead man, I am. I don't like this. I'm trying to do this, but it's not letting me. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, buddy. I'm like pressing the buttons and they're not doing anything. Oh. My R's not ready. I see. Fucking crazy. Well, who are you?
Make it quick. You only need to land one good blow to punish a fleet-footed adversary. Be relentless. That's your best bet.
I see.
Make it quick.
You have a quiver. You're like a robin.
Indeed. I've had.
Oops, I didn't mean to skip that one.
You only need to land one good blow. Be relentless. Make it quick. You only need to land one good blow to punish a
Damn it.
fleet-footed adversary.
I'm sad. They've definitely like added so many new things in here. Is this a bed for me to sleep in? So crazy. Very cool. Very interesting. So if that goes to the training grounds, right? This guy is protecting this. That is where we would jump down and leave, right? Can't break those. All of that is buried. Damn, okay. Oh. Unarmed. I see. Oh. Dang. 11 already? Wait, what level am I? Probably like a 6, right? Is this like a fighting area? What is out here? This is really interesting. I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm assuming this is just for looks. Unless I try to start swimming across the water, then maybe it will tell me no. um. Uh-huh. Oh, is this not the way back? Oh, okay. Never mind, I lied. I swear I had, okay, so we've checked that, we've checked that, and we haven't gone through here. Okay, that's where we were adjusting. Crazy. That's very crazy. Okay. Not gonna lie. I do not know what to do. Uh-oh. No. Okay, let's go back to this.
Speak as you wish. This message is for you. Seekers, on the third night, this land will band together and prepare to claim the life of the Night Lord. That is all. Oh. Regrettably, I have no means to fight. It might strike you as presumptuous, but I am in need of your help all the same.
I see.
Speak as you wish.
Don't talk.
I await your return.
Oh, select a boss or target on the expedition menu. Select an expedition to automatically recruit allies targeting the same boss. Once 3 players are matched, the expedition begins. The roundtable hold is fully accessible while waiting for expedition to commence. Do we do one fight or do we wait? Because I can wait until tomorrow. I can wait till tomorrow or later today and play with lights when he gets on. Or I could just try my hand at one now and... Oh, Lord, I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of scared, not gonna lie. Maybe I go to bed and we do this. We start earlier tomorrow. Not at like 10 o'clock at night. I could start at like 12 or something. And we can get some shits done. I don't know. This just I'm not used to the controls. I'm not used to the controls at all. But it looks like fun. It looks a little overwhelming, I will say. Um kind of nervous to play it, but I think with people it will be doable. The good thing about this one compared to like Elden Ring is you can play with people. I don't have to play by myself. So um I think we're gonna wait until tomorrow. So we'll come back with another live stream tomorrow. YouTube, thank you for having me. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys want to catch me live tomorrow during the day before we play any Night Rain, feel free to follow me on Kick. I stream on Kick Monday through Saturday. I don't know times, so just drop a follow over there and turn notifications on if you'd like to see the entirety of streams. Otherwise, enjoy your day, enjoy your Friday, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, YouTube.